Oh, there we go. Now to let people know we are here. Oop. Boop. And why not? Boop here as well.
DM, do you have dates for us?
Yes, it is the 38th day of Dokath in the year of Kalis 1008. And we are in the second expedition of our adventures with House SupQit'aH. So hello everybody, we're just getting rolling here, getting set up so I can get these characters killed and we can start a Romulan game finally.
No!
I've been trying to convince someone to do it.
Only if we can use Diane Duane's system.
No.
What is that?
She wrote the Rahansu series, the best thing that anybody's ever done for developing the Romulans.
Oh, I thought it was a different RPG system is what you're saying.
I do have a different mic. I'm in a hotel room on a laptop, honestly. I
How
hope it's not too terrible.
how
Nice and clear.
dare you? Right, so last we left off, before the House of Gitta was about to charge off into a to chase some intelligence in the. I can find my notes. I'm in the wrong Discord. That would help. Oh. It was the intelligence in the Gok star cluster. But before that could happen, a certain doctor got into an honor duel with a Starfleet officer and was promptly kidnapped. And the fleets of House of Gitta went in a hunt for them. So we are catching up with them a few days later as they continue their hunt deep into uncharted space within the Shackleton Expanse. Our first stop will be in the war room aboard the Maymock. And
I do have a question. How long do we expect before we'll hear back from the people going after the suit of armor?
actually, you can give me a roll at this point to see how they did. Because you should hear something from them by now. Oh no, I forgot. Oh shoot! I'll have to remember that opening for next time. Damn. Give me a roll that involves D20.
Do I get to decide everything else?
Sure, why not? Especially since I can't see your inertial sheet. Fine, use your secondary sheet. See if I care. No, didn't hurt my feelings or nothing. Control plus command difficulty of.
Do the quality of the assets committed matter?
Yes. They will basically grant you an advantage
All
to
right,
the
then
roll.
I have one quality 3 and 2 quality 1s.
So what you would, or rather, for each advantage you have, it'll bring it down. You can bring the difficulty down by 1, and if it's above 1. Hello, Casualty CDG. Hello. Love you too, man. The next time, don't sass me on Wednesdays. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, yes, for each advantage you have, that can bring the difficulty down by 1. If it's above quality 1, then that's bonus momentum added to the roll if you succeed.
All right, then that makes this a difficulty 0, and if I succeed, I get 2 bonus momentum.
I will up it to 1, if 1.
All right.
Eventually my phone will stay where it is.
Because I sent the Quillu and a regiment, can I use the focus for politics?
For what politics, sorry?
Fortune politics. That was our stand-in for gunboat Klingon.
Oh, I follow. Yes, sure.
All right, take one threat.
Sure. You generate 3 momentum. Yeah, you actually hear from them that they have heard of they have gotten credible intelligence regarding the armor and the person who owns it currently. There is, and basically the seller is willing to sell for a considerable amount of, but not an insurmountable amount of Duskars.
Deskars, is that a currency?
That's the Klingon currency.
Oh, okay.
So, you can, for 2 momentum and a threat, you can have them just simply buy it outright, or you can roll your house wealth plus your reputation, difficulty 2, to complete the buy.
What are we looking at if I don't feel like paying for it?
If you want to have them do a raid and try to steal it, or sorry, reclaim it, not steal it.
Yeah.
They can begin organizing a raid to get it back. You would have to wait till next session to hear back if the raid went well. You can organize it. You can tell them, yeah, just cloak and take the thing back.
Can I use 2 bonus momentum from the roll and 2 more momentum to like set up some advantages for them on that?
Sure.
All right. I don't know. Yeah, something like we've been able to get them better intelligence, or I'm not sure what the advantages should be, but
advantage, some extra intelligence support. And actually that's an advantage right there. Just extra intelligence support. You're giving them extra support from the Maymok to kind of help fill them in, so they're not just doing the mission on their own, they're actually getting word back from the house command ship. So that should make their life a little easier.
all right. And because the warriors are particularly zealous, can I make the other advantage like that? I've given like a speech to them, or like I've kind of like impressed on them the importance of this, so that they will fight more fiercely.
Sure.
All right.
Oops, I'm in the wrong thing. Over here. There we go.
So that'll bring us down to 1 momentum, and yep.
Moral support from the lore singer.
That somebody gets that.
So another mission is launched underway aboard the Kulu as they begin their hunt for the armor of SupQit'aH somewhere on distant stars.
While we're taking care of...
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to make a joke. Just
Okay.
go on.
While we're taking care of this kind of stuff, I'd like to go ahead and make this session's roll for the long-term project to gain access to the Woohoo WMD data.
Sure. You are looking at Presence Command, difficulty 3.
Okay.
Up to 2 people can assist with this roll, as the house leader is attempting to gain access to certain data from the Federation, and is basically pressing the council to hurry up and share the information with you.
What's the actual role?
That's command.
Presence command is the lead. If you can argue for a different assist, I'm willing to give
Oh
it
no!
air.
If presence command is allowed, then I would like to assist him, and I would like to spend 2 threat to give him an automatic crit on my roll using voice of authority.
Oh, look. I am getting moral support from the lords.
Yes.
I am
You are a
also
big, strong house leader who eats his vegetables.
I'm also a decent presencer commander. If you want my assistance as well.
Sure. You can use the Ferengi channels into the Federation. The Federation's good relationship with Rom.
Oh, here's another success.
Well, there's the 3 we need. So I think I'll give you a threat just for a reroll for any comps that I may come up with.
Okay, additional threat gained. Ba-ba-ba.
So it looks like we gained 3.
Is your con and command the same?
Oh, sorry. At command's better, actually.
Okay.
I didn't
Does-
change
command-
anything.
so
Yeah,
you-
I'd be rolling a 17, and the highest is a 16 there. Okay.
7 challenge dice, please.
Challenge dice.
Want to spend 1 on piercing?
I don't think it. Oh, it does have resistance. So yeah, let's spend 1 on piercing to bring it down to resistance 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down to resistance 1. So that's still 6 work.
Which should be a breakthrough.
That is 1 breakthrough. The difficulty goes down by 1. Your first major breakthrough is that you find that you've managed to push the request up on the docket a bit, because at first it was just in the pipeline. It was being considered, but among hundreds of other things the Federation considers. But it's like, oh no, we really care about this. We need you to hurry this up. It's like, oh, well, since you're asking, sure, we'll kick it up the line, especially since a great house is pressing forward, and heck, even the Ferengi seem to be really concerned about this. So, all right, we'll hurry it up. It's all right. Didn't mean to make you wait.
Excellent. So difficulty goes down by 1. So does the magnitude, and work tracks down to 14.
You're at 6 of 20 work. I have it in the Discord chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, those events occurred during the few days your hunt began.
Right.
And any other downtime stuff you wish to chase down before we continue with the scene?
Nothing from me.
Let's go get him.
We've got a good lock on these guys, right? As I remember, Keldar made some rolls and found them.
Yes, so now we resolve the roll on how well you were able to chase them down. You do know that they are a considerable distance away from the Federation frontier. Your nearest allied vessel was the Achilles. They were in the same subsector as you were, but they were wrapped up in their own mission, so they're not... and you kind of lost contact with them briefly. So they're not going to be of aid in this mission, unfortunately. Whoopsie. Huh? No, not doing that. Eventually I'll find my notes. Here somewhere. Boop. Alright. So, to track that ship down, I'm going to ask for... a reason plus science, security, or con. And the difficulty is correct? Is 3. This is an extended task. Resistance of 3. Work.
Thanks to the new books,
2.
using extended tasks.
Magnitude 3. Did I forget anything?
Whoa, that's an insane task.
It is fairly difficult to chase someone down who's trying to hide from. Now, you do have an advantage out of the gate, so you're able to bring down either the difficulty or the resistance down by 1, because you did have a pretty good lock on them as they were retreating, so they don't have as much of an advantage as they thought they had. Ship can assist as well with sensors plus relevant department. So if you're using science, use science. If you're using security, use security. If you're using con, use con.
Can assists be had?
Yes.
And so, how does having the manga beside us help with its advanced sensors?
So you can bring that in as an additional advantage. So you could bring down the difficulty down or the resistance down by 1.
Basically, we could use Oda's asset up like this fleet.
Well, I think the manga is actually Keldar's
Oh, it's
asset
okay.
as well. Yeah. I mean, it's part of the squad technically, but I think it's Keldar's asset. You chose that, right, Keldar?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
What's its quality?
I don't believe it has a quality. I think it was created before we implemented the quality.
Yeah.
So it's quality 0 by default.
So do we get an advantage from something that's quality 0?
Yep. It just doesn't give you bonus momentum is all.
Oh, I thought you didn't get bonus momentum until it was quality 2.
No, it's the minute you hit 1 or higher, you can garner some bonus momentum.
I shorted myself a couple of bonus momentum. Like 3 bonus momentum.
Keldar, do you want to take the lead on this? I can assist with reason security fairly well.
Yeah.
We also, like, if you don't want to use your determination yet, we do have a helm officer with a good reason con and a value that could probably be used here
Oh yeah.
with Kavara.
What is their value? Her value?
I always find a course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm rolling a 15.
They're only rolling a 14.
Well, that's still pretty good if they can use a value.
They also have a focus in astro navigation and combat maneuvers, so that might help.
Well, that seems
Sure.
like a good option to me. if we
What's
wanna
your
do that.
reason science though, Keldar?
It's 14.
Okay. That's right, you engineering.
Yeah, engineering is 15. And then security is, well, reason. Engineering would be 15.
All right, then, GM, will you accept a value in I always find a course and a focus in astro navigation or combat maneuvers?
Astro navigation I would take. I wouldn't take the value though.
All right, then it may be better for Keldar to do this.
Okay.
You don't have to use a value, but I was just saying there's no now. Your 15 in a if you have a focus, your 15 in a focus is better than their 14 in a focus.
Would a focus and cloaking devices apply? I believe that they were cloaked.
Yep, it would.
Then yes, I have a focus.
How many assists are we allowed to have?
All of you can assist.
Okay, then I'll activate and assist with Kavar.
Okay. So resistance 3 means I have to get at least 3 successes.
No. So if you succeed at the difficulty 3 task, you roll your challenge dice. The resistance basically is armor. It takes away from the amount of work you're doing on the roll. That said, you do have some advantages on the table that you can apply to bring the difficulty down or the resistance down. So you have the one advantage because you got a lock on them on their way out, and I believe you have another one because of because you have a ship under your direct command that can help augment what you're doing. So you can use that to either bring the difficulty down or the resistance down by...
I would use those both to bring the resistance down to 0. I don't think you're gonna have trouble hitting the difficulty. Oh, can he use one of those to have the intervals? Oh, you have attempts, not intervals. I don't know if that's...
You only have so many attempts before the trail starts getting cold, and it's still possible to find them, but it's a lot harder.
Okay. Yeah, let's... Is the value of brute strength is not the most important asset in a fight applicable?
Not in this case, no.
How about ask questions, but be cautious about who's listening?
Yeah, I'd take that.
Okay. I'll spend my determination toward that value. Here's my veteran challenge die.
You get it back.
Yay! And who is everybody assisting?
Yeah, but we can't assist unless you... Well, I guess you've already succeeded on one dice, so yeah, we can all assist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a crit from Kavara, so you've already succeeded at the task.
That's a D10. You're going to need to reroll.
Oh, that is a D10. I have been playing too much Cyberpunk.
Oda's going to be rolling reason security, so could I argue for focus and strategy and tactics for the assist?
Yep.
There we go.
I'll spend 2 momentum for an extra die.
Sure. Oh, that's momentum, not me.
So you're already at 4 successes.
No, you're only at 3.
No, he spent a determination, so...
That's 2, plus your 1 is 3.
Oh, that's right, it's doing... I'm sorry, I'm so used to the
You can ignore my D10 roll.
the macro instead of the sheet.
That's 6 successes.
That is 3 momentum generated. Roll for me. Wait, Keldar has even... Yeah, he has. Keldar, roll for me. If I can find your sheet, that'd be awesome. Seven challenge dice.
Oh, did someone roll the sensors task?
Oh, yeah, somebody roll for the ship.
We use the Maymok for this?
It's
Yes.
the ship we're on, I think. Or is it his ship?
His ship's acting as an advantage, but your ship is
Okay.
leading the charge, as it were.
Okay, I got the Maymok.
I think I want to spend the momentum to re-roll those zeros. A lot of zeros. Yes?
You might want to. More work is never bad.
Well, you're already... Yeah.
So you spend 2 of them to bring the... You had 2 advantages to bring the resistance down, I believe?
Yes.
Okay, so resistance of 1, 5 and 4 is 9, minus 1 is 8. 8 work generated.
And we still have 2 momentum left from the roll.
As bonus, you mean?
No, as like actual earned momentum.
How many did he spend?
He spent 2.
But I grabbed those 2
Right.
from you.
Yeah. So and then we got 3, and then the ship just rolled 1, so we earned a total of 4. So we should be at 5.
We earned 4, and then we actually spent 1 on the roll, so we only earned 3.
Okay.
So, your first foray in scanning, you learn that their ship is fairly fast, even at under cloak. So but thankfully you're able to keep on course and stay on their warp wake long enough that you can keep tracking them deeper into the Shackleton.
I have a question. From that, do we actually ever get a glimpse of them at full out max warp, even for a short period of time?
For 2 momentum, you might.
My thought process is here is if we know that information, we could narrow down the class of ship they have to like maybe a couple of options.
We want to maybe. Did we spend an extra
Actually,
momentum for extra damage? Because we're
No,
not at a breakthrough yet.
We wouldn't gain that much benefit from it.
yeah.
Okay, so have we reduced the resistance?
No, only difficulty goes down. Oh, no, yeah, you did reduce the resistance with advantages. You got 8 work out of that roll, which is 1 breakthrough. So the difficulty went down by 1.
Okay.
But actually, yeah, to obtain that information, it's just 1, sorry.
Okay, yeah, let's spin that, because if we can do that, and then, like, can we compare that to the list of Federation ships in our database and take a guess at maybe a couple of classes of ship this could be? Oh, it appears to be Galaxy class.
I also want to, if I can do an information spin for us to glean what type of cloaking device this is, i.e. Klingon, Romulan, whatever, because we have information that Klingon devices are showing up on non-Klingon ships in this region.
Sure.
Guess technically it could also be a phasing cloak, which would be
Yeah, and
worse.
or it could be something new, but I'm guessing this is probably
Romulan.
thinking Klingon, honestly.
Well, the cloak that the Federation had access to for the longest amount of time was the Romulan cloak.
Yeah, but what we've been hearing rumors of that Martok wanted us to check out has been Klingon. Has been Klingon cloaks.
Which means we don't want to get into a fight with them, because if they phase, we literally can't do damage even if we like know their exact position. Like any weapon would just pass straight through them. So
Can they do damage to us with phase? While
no, they're out
cloak?
of phase with us.
Okay.
Well, unless the GM says they can, but out of phase means they're like no longer completely in our galaxy.
Right.
In our, I think it's dimension.
Yeah, dimension. Yeah,
So they're phasing in. They're in subspace when they go into their cloak, which is insane that they have.
They're pulling a kitty pride.
I wonder what I feel when I go into subspace. I wonder if I feel anything.
I don't think you do. There's several times, like, they don't mention anything like that in the 2 or 3 episodes where something like this happens.
Well, all of the matter that's around you is in the same phase as you, so it's
right.
normal.
But even in episodes where they've had someone out of phase with everything around them, it didn't affect them. But yeah, that's not good. That's the worst thing it could have been. I guess we should take another stab.
Yep, you're looking at it a diff 2, reason, science, security, or con. As you continue your hunt.
If you can get at least 1 success, you got another success.
And this is taking the course of several hours and the few days that you've been out and about.
Can I use the same value again?
You could, yeah.
Just a thought. I don't know that it would be that useful. Like, you may be able to find, because it's only difficulty 2, right?
Yep.
And I guess if you wanted to generate momentum, but
All right, yeah, I'll skip the value spend then. I think I can. There's a. Okay, right. I'll spend a momentum for die number 3.
I had selected Keldar there as well for a second.
That's not a task roll.
No.
Ugh. 15. All right. So,
3.
somebody roll for the ship already, or is
Ship has not been rolled.
shall I roll for the ship?
Well, somebody does.
I'll roll for the ship. So it's sensors plus
Engineering.
security. Sensors plus engineering.
Yep. Because you're rolling engineering, right?
No, I'm rolling security.
Oh, security.
We
Oh,
rolled
sorry.
sensor
It'd be
science
since
last time.
it matches up with what your what department the main roller's using.
Okay, yeah, so security. Oh, there you go.
So 2 momentum generated. Roll for me 6 challenge dice.
Does the advantages come into play again?
Yep. So you've done 6 work so far. That's another breakthrough. 14 work of
7.
18.
It should be 7. We reduced the resistance to 0, unless you spent to bring it back up.
Resistance is 3. You only have 2 advantages.
Yeah, but one advantage knocks it down by 2, and then the second one knocks it down by 1.
Why would it knock it down by 2? It only knocked it down by 1.
No, generally, like, momentum spins, it's 1 momentum for 2 resistance. That's generally the ratio, but I guess if you're doing it a different way, then that would be different.
Yeah. Second magnitude completed. Difficulty goes down yet again. The second magnitude you discover. The second magnitude is the fact that this ship appeared to pass through a civilized star cluster of stars. A star cluster of stars. A starfaring civilization is what I mean to say. It is preliminary scans over subspace register them self-identifying as the Kuwuksa Federation of Stormcatchers, believers in the storm and calm. They passed through their space and kept going. They didn't see. They didn't see them. They don't see you. It doesn't seem like the civilization could see Cloak.
Okay. Are we heading into any areas of storm or such yet?
There is the general gravimetric eddies and such of the Shackleton, but no, there's no density at this time. However, for a momentum spend, I can give you some extra information regarding that question.
Please.
So, you haven't verified it yet, but it does look like on extreme range sensors on the other side of this starfaring civilization, you do hear that there are, over subspace traffic, there seems to be a massive, many light year wide, dense storm front that's known to the locals. Which can cause various issues, or should cause various issues. It sounds like it's a Shackleton type storm, but you haven't scanned it for yourself, so maybe they got it wrong, but it seems like there's a storm ahead, and the course seems to indicate they're heading that way.
Okay. All right, so I think we probably want to scan that. So let's activate science.
Oh, well, I will point out that you are still one magnitude away from solving the problem.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, fair.
you're not 100% sure that's where they went. That could be a mislead. That could be a red herring.
Fair.
That said, you are 4 work away from breaking the track. So if you want to spend resources, you could beat it without a roll, or you can roll and try to snag up some momentum if you dare.
This would just be our third attempt, right?
Yep, it'd be your 3rd attempt.
Yeah, I say roll for it.
Difficulty goes up to 3. As a storm is particularly vicious and unpredictable, even by the local standards. To the point it seems to be part of their religion, according to their subspace feeds. Embrace the storm and calm, and all will be well. Oops, I can't type div 3. Enter key, thank you.
Here's one from Oda. Here's the ship. No help but no hurt.
Supposed to roll comp's ship. Way to betray me.
Oh, and by the way, we're getting, since we're using the Maymok, we have 4 bonus momentum each time. Because it's a quality 4 ship.
Probably would have been a good idea to think of that 3 rolls ago.
I did think of it right now. And so you thinking of it right now.
Keldar, I presume you grabbed the momentum? Cool. 1, 3, 4, 5 hits. 5 plus 1 more, 6 hits.
Those are crits.
Even the 6?
Oh no, the
No.
2 and the 3. We got
4,
2
5.
assists also.
7. So 7 on a diff 3. So yeah, that is 4 momentum generated. Kapla, warriors honored, says the author.
So we're at 5 in the pool with 4 float. So with 4 bonus float.
I need 6 challenge dice from Keldar. Five.
How much work did we have left?
You only had 4 left, so even with the -1 to resistance, you still break the work track, which still gets you the 3rd magnitude.
And then we can spend 1 bonus momentum to get the... Oh, is this magnitude 3 or 4?
3.
Oh, okay, so we don't need to do that.
You can ask extra questions based on the information I give you, so I'll tell you information first, and then you can decide what you wish to do with it. So, what you discover, it does seem that they have, they aren't just blowing through the storm, the destination is the storm. They were flying into it on purpose. The storm seems to, according to long-range sensors, indicates that it is a massive storm, and it's effectively be like 4 star systems in area, as it were. However, you're able to narrow it down to a single star system's unit worth of area, which it seems to be in a cluster of 4 particularly nasty buildups of storm. So one can so they are in that storm. You know where they went. They're just hiding in there somewhere. For what reason, you don't know, but sensors don't tell you that. Don't tell you intent. They tell you where. But you don't see any warp trails. You don't see any subspace distortion indicating that they stopped and then jumped away again just to throw you. They went in there and stopped. So either they're, if anything else, if they're moving, they're not moving at warp speed. They're moving at impulse speed at most, because that has no effect on subspace and wouldn't be detectable at long range.
And we know the general region they stopped in, or is this place of 4 particularly strong storms?
It's an area of 4 particularly strong storms, yeah. If you wanted to, any tasks that are done in that area regarding, I didn't port my notes over from the other one. That's my bad. Sorry. So those storms do decrease, or they create. Aha, there we go. So there are electromagnetic disturbances and gravimetric eddies. Each of them increase the difficulty and complication of relevant tasks by 2, unless you've pre-adjusted your ship for the either scanning the gravimetric eddies in particular and adjusting for them, like course correcting ahead of time, or adjusting your shield harmonics. That way the electromagnetic disturbance doesn't complicate your other systems. Presumably they've already done that. Otherwise, that's the danger of flying into such a dense storm. You'd be going in. Everything, even the most basic of tasks, becomes difficult.
How long does it take to make to make the ships ready for that, and how long till we hit the edge of the storms?
You haven't. You basically get one shot at it because if you goof it, you don't know anything's wrong until you encounter it, and then if you get it right, everything's fine. If you get it wrong, things start frying. And at that point, you have to pull into a dock to replace the parts. Because the way to adjust for the problem requires a very fine-tuned adjustment that can only last for a certain amount of time. Because ships currently aren't built to deal with the Shackleton yet, so it's a lot of fine-tuning and watching the gauges very carefully.
So okay, orders to all ships, drop cloaking device, deflectors to maximum, shields at the ready or up as necessary. All crew to battle stations, secure all vessels for foul weather. And then let's see if we can't get things locked down and ready for the storms before we hit the edge. Also, I'd like to request Oda will move to the bridge for this.
Another question. Did we get any indication that they knew we were following them? Like, course corrections that only make sense if they're trying to avoid us?
For one of your bonus momentum, I will answer that. Yeah, it looks like they knew they were being followed, and they probably course corrected into the storm specifically to try to throw you. What's weird is that usually when you're throwing somebody, you jump into a storm, wait a tick, and then head out. I'll be right there. One moment, please. I'll be right back.
Fire break for me then.
Did Corvinian go AFK? Is that what he...
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, you tell us, baby Keldar.
They're talking to you.
Hello there?
Yeah, I
Yes,
know.
hello. Hello.
I know, it's a strange new world that we're in, baby Keldar, and I just want you to know that your generation's fucked, but it's gonna be okay.
Oh, don't tell him that. It's all sunshine and rainbows.
Sorry, I didn't mean to swear in front of your baby.
Con food, a healthy lunch of microwavable Jimmy Dean sausage, egg and cheese croissants.
Right. So before I had to dip away briefly, the question being asked... Oh, yes, I was completing the thought that... Yeah, so if you were trying to drop them off, if they were trying to shake you off, normally you would stop in a storm, wait like a half tick or so, and then jump again. But it looks like they're waiting for you in that storm for some reason. Maybe not specifically you, they know someone's following them, because because you succeeded at the roll, you are hanging, and you didn't get complications, you did hang back.
How large is the storm? Like, how long would it take us to position ships around the storm?
A couple light years, right?
It's a few light years across.
So days or weeks?
If you're, as long as your ships are adjusted appropriately for the storm, it would take. Oh, you're in the same. Hold on, not terribly long. But I'm gonna check my warp speed chart.
Well, so my thought was we could have the rest of the fleet make it known and obvious that they're here and that they're preparing to go in after them, and we leave a convenient opening for them to run through, and we'll sit cloaked at that opening.
My only concern is this. Let's get a good scan of the storm first. My concern is that since it seems to be unusually large, wonder if it's natural and wonder if maybe they have a base in that area.
Can we ask that, GM? Is it likely that this storm is consistently in this location and that it doesn't look like it'll dissipate in the next few hundred years?
That's your second bonus question. Yep, it is a consistent storm to the point that the local, like it's something that the locals have known for thousands of years. It's always been there, always has been there, and as far as they're concerned, it always will be there. It seems to be consistently within a certain part of the. It's actually one of the few consistent storms that seem to be happening in the Shackleton, which may indicate that it's anomalous in some fashion. Like something's either artificially creating it, or this is just how the Shackleton Expanse storms are like, but who knows?
And the problem with us going through this is that occasionally we'll run into, like, eddies.
Well, there's plenty of gravimetric eddies and electromagnetic disturbances in there, so it's fairly dense. So any task you do is increased unless you adjust your shields and you get a nice thorough scan to course correct. Because gravimetric eddies pull you off course. If you just trust your sensors without adjusting them, it's not accounting for the hard draw the gravity wells the eddies are pulling. So you'll suddenly get veered to the left or veered up or veered right,
I say we use the squadron to kind of cover, the outside under cloak to keep an eye on things. But then I say we take the Maymok in after them. We rig the Maymok.
Oh, you don't want to take the whole fleet in after them?
I was just trying to split the difference between your plan and then also going after
my
them.
plan is to catch them in a trap where we can get an initial, like, large amount of damage or advantage on them by deciding when and where the combat's going to happen. But if we're not going to try to maneuver them into position, then we might as well just bring all of the force to bear. And I'm not convinced that what I was thinking would be that useful anyways, because if there's a base in there, then they may not be leaving for another month. And that would complicate things.
Okay.
If my thought only works if they want to leave that cloud. They want to leave the cloud without fighting us, and they want to do it within the next couple of days. If any of those conditions are not true, then my plan wouldn't have been that useful.
Yeah, say we go in after them. They've
in force,
interrupted a duel and kidnapped one of my officers. Let's go kill these Batak.
So I think the first step should be scanning the storm so that we can make the necessary adjustments to our shields.
Yep.
Yeah.
We do have a new science officer we can activate.
But I think we were at the point where we're, like, ready to go to the bridge to do this.
Spillsbury Bob says, just go in and make mistakes. The Achilles will clean up your mess.
I'm not Admiral Grinnon. Thank you very much.
So you are done with the war room and heading up to the bridge?
Yeah, at this point, we're not doing any more, like, strategic planning, I don't think. We're, like, preparing for the fight.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's run things from... Plus, I really want to sit in the command chair.
Okay. Aurelius, is there anything you would like to do or would like to have done during the journey?
Oh, please. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But word has reached me that Shio has sent an assault squadron to rob a Ferengi blind. Is this true?
Not to rob a Frinky blind, to reclaim
get back
stolen
something that was
artifacts.
stolen.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Whatever you say, then I'll be noting this one down. But no, I'm fine. You can go on.
Okay, piracy tax. No, not tax.
In fact, if you want their ship, I will give you their ship after
I
we
do
get...
not. No, that's not the point. Just go on. We'll resolve this at a later date.
So,
Well, yeah, because it hasn't actually been done yet.
they might fail. They may all die to the trained
That
warriors
would
of...
be disappointed.
But a new scene begins as we look elsewhere in space. This one? Yes. La Eston.
Yes.
Last we left off, you had encountered your good friend Tamsin Aliers.
Oh no, he's hot, guys. You can't do this to me. Alright.
Is this where we pull these out?
Okay, I can. If you're legitimate, I can stop.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So he has just walked into the room?
Yep. Wearing a black collar, but in a Starfleet uniform.
Dr. Aliers,
Oh, sorry, I take that back. This is Lower Decks era, so it's just an all-black uniform. I forgot.
Oh, okay. Dr. Aliers, what is the meaning of this? The last thing I remember, I was on a Klingon ship. What? Eston sort of looks around confused.
Well, Doctor, I thought that I would give you a chance to be part of a much larger and more successful plan for the future of your house and your liege house, as well as the Shackleton Expanse. I hate to waste good doctors.
Well, I certainly appreciate the compliment, but if you could return me to my ship and we can set, I can certainly, I can certainly think about your offer, but at this point it's a no.
You don't even know what the offer is, Doctor.
Doctor, with all due respect, I'm not interested. Return me to my ship.
Well, I thought we were such good friends.
Is there, before we go any further, I want to make a cursory glance of the sickbay. I want to look around and see if there is any, medical equipment that I can swipe, preferably like a hypo spray or something.
Insight plus medicine, difficulty 1.
1 moment. Yeah, can I burn I will burn a momentum.
Okay.
Music was kind of foreboding. Would I have a focus that's applying here? I have like an internal medicine, just like practical skills, not anything for like looking around, I don't think.
Let me check your sheet real quick.
Okay.
Traditional karate now. I would take emergency medicine at a complication increase.
I'll give that to you. Yeah.
As you glance around and look for items that are familiar to you.
It should be 4 successes.
3 momentum generated.
Yeah, what do I see?
You find an array of hyposprays next to your biobed.
Could I use 2 momentum of the thing that I have generated to, without them seeing, grab a hypospray?
I would need you to do an opposed roll to grab a hypospray.
So would that just be like a stealth kind of thing?
It'd be an opposed daring security roll. What are you doing there, Oda?
Grabbing the wrong dang thing like I do once every game.
I will, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll use all the momentum that I generated to get a total of 4 dice for that.
Okay.
I'm assuming no focus for this?
No.
Okay. That is, I have 2, 3, 4 hits.
So you're tied right now.
You're tied right now.
You have a reroll?
I
You
don't think I do.
you could with determination if you have a value.
I don't think I have a value that would apply to this. I think if at first you don't succeed, improvise.
I'd take that.
Can I just burn that for? Oh, I guess since it's after the roll, I need to re-roll, right?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I will re-roll that 18.
Come on, 20.
Damn it. Okay.
Close.
It was better.
Can I using that value? Can I just knock over the? Can I pass it off as an accident and knock him over or something?
I will let you succeed at cost that you grab one of the hypospray, you kind of knocked them over, and you grab a hypospray during the chaos. You don't know which one you grabbed. You just know you grabbed one, and you're able to pocket it quickly.
Yeah, I will absolutely do that.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. I must be weak from my.
I'm now interested to see the doc try to use this in a combat scenario, and he accidentally grabbed a combat drug enhancer or something.
I'm just trying to pass it off like I'm weak from my surgery that I probably just had to perform on me. Doctor, did you perform my surgery, or did one of your armed associates?
Oh, doctor, I would never leave you in the care of someone less qualified than myself. You're my top priority.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. So, where are we, Doctor?
You are aboard the future of the Alpha and Beta quadrants. You are aboard a ship that will lead the backward, peaceable, stagnant empires into a new age. If you wish to see the power it wields, then fine. I'll let you trust your eyes rather than my ever upstanding word.
Yeah. Show me what you got, Doctor.
Well, I will. He turns and walks out of the room.
Okay. Oh. Do his people follow him?
Yep.
Okay, am I meant to be following him?
He doesn't say anything. He just walks out of the room, and the door closes behind them.
Okay. Because I remember from 2 weeks ago that I tried computer access. Well, I could try speaking and interacting with the computer, and I needed authorization for that.
Yep.
Can I walk over and see if the door is sealed?
You can certainly try.
Is it sealed?
The door does not open.
Okay. Is there a maintenance crawlway anywhere? Like, I'm just trying to look for...
Yeah, you see some Jeffries tube access panels. I mean, those are fairly common in Starfleet vessels. You try to dot them everywhere just for, one, for evacuation reasons, and two, there's a lot of stuff you have to get to.
I want to grab whatever I can pocket in terms of hypersprays from this room, and I want to stash them everywhere, and then I want to try to gain access through the Jeffries tube.
Okay, so you walk up to one of the Jeffries tube panels after grabbing some random hypersprays.
Yep.
Okay, and you open one of the Jeffries tube panel crawlways.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Cool. What's your access code?
Is there a panel right next to the Jeffries tube access?
Yep.
Can I open the panel?
Sure can.
And I'm gonna look for like a manual, like hand actuator sort of dealio.
Yeah, you see that little suction cup handle looking thing, or magnetic candle thing, I should say.
Yeah, I will take that and attempt to force open the door.
Okay, you click it into place. You start pulling it, and then you hear a hissing noise.
Oh no.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to resolve this attack. It's fine. It's fine.
Did you, like, open an exterior, like, hatch?
Whoa! Get sucked out.
Well, that's what hissing made me think of. Like, it was
mask.
atmospheric depressurization.
Tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking starship.
Oh.
Why would they kidnap me just to kill me? That's my thing.
The lulls. Oh, no.
The goofs.
Yeah, I mean, really, because we all know they kidnapped you in order to, like, forcibly meld you with some sort of sentient crystal. That's what the tripology does.
Great.
That's what the tripality used to do.
Are you suggesting that there's now a kinder, gentler tripology?
Yeah, I had to kill Admiral Aslan to make it that way.
You start coughing as the room is as you're finding it a little hard to breathe, but due to your Klingon blood, you're able to resist the non-lethal gas. You open the door. You see a Jeffries tube.
Do I see any like notation that shows what deck I'm on?
You're on deck 24.
24?
Yep.
Okay. I'm is there like a ladder going down?
There's a tube that goes in. There might be a ladder down that way.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, like a chute. You're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go in to the Jeffries tube. Sorry, go ahead. Oh.
You walk right into a force field.
Ow, fuck. Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stress.
That's
Don't worry, it's not lethal. So you take 3 less of it. That's still 7 stress.
God damn it. So I'm okay.
You're about to take an injury. Would you like to spend 2 to avoid the injury?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
2 momentum.
Definitely.
I presume 2 momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the thing and it's like zort. It hits you. It's a force 10 force field.
It's a level 10 force field?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Is there a tricorder anywhere?
For momentum, there can be.
God damn it.
You take 2... Nope. You take, 2 stress due to the gas in the room.
Okay. The hyposprays, is there any, like, oxygenation, like, there's, like, that triox compound stuff? Is there one of that in the hyposprays? Can I see it from the color in the tube?
For momentum, you can get that information, sure.
Yes, I'll spend a momentum, damn it.
Okay, yeah, you find it in your hurry.
Yeah, I administer that to buy myself a little time.
Daring plus medicine, difficulty of 2, because you're trying to get the dosage right, but you don't really have a lot of time to think about it. You're like, that's the right dosage, right? Jab.
Okay, daring medicine. Emergency medicine as a focus?
Sure.
Okay. I will add 3 to threat for 2 additional dice.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let that stand.
2 momentum generated as you jab yourself. You are fairly certain that unless they increase the toxicity of the gas in this room, you should be okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm assuming that
They're not random drugs, Chad. He knows what he's doing. He's a doctor. He's just in a hurry is all.
I'm trying to think what else to do. Shit. Is there a power tap in the in the Jeffries tube crawlway that could shut off power to that area?
Sure, it's just inside the tube.
Okay, on the other side of the force field?
Yes, but you could try to force a short to try to short out the force field. That would be not easy. Daring, security or engineering, difficulty, base 3 increases to 4 because you don't have the proper tools. Complication jumps to 3 because if you screw this up, you're going to short yourself. Like, you're going to shock yourself while you're doing it.
This is insane. But the thing is, if I deactivate this one force field, they can just throw up another force field from the bridge.
If they're aware of you.
Also, I'll be nice. Insight medicine, difficulty 1. There's information I can tell you, but I'm not telling you for free.
Insight medicine, difficulty 1.
1, yep.
Do any of my focuses apply?
Yes. Internal medicine.
Okay. I will spend 1 momentum to get another dice.
Oh, don't freeze up, computer. No, please. Stop. There.
Okay. That's a crit.
All right. So, that was not what I wanted to open. I opened the wrong document. That was smart of me.
Okay.
But you did make it. So one thing you might want to consider, considering that you are at 2 of your 11 stress, if you take 2 non-lethal injuries, you'll get a lethal and you might die to your next shock. But an action you can take to recover stress is called the recovery action. So you can just spend a turn, especially since you're not worried about the air anymore. You just have to sit there and take a breath and recover some of your stress. And it does let you avoid an injury again. So as long as but it just uses up 8 turn.
Okay. I will. Can I spend that momentum for a tricorder, and then take the recovery action?
Sure.
Okay. I will do all of those things.
Okay. So to recover, you attempt a fitness plus command roll, difficulty of 2.
Wow, 2 of my main skills. Difficulty 2. I will spend a momentum to increase the dice by 1.
Okay.
I don't have a focus for this, do I?
For resting or something like that? Not really.
Okay. That is 1 success. I don't have a reroll for command rolls. I don't think. No. Yeah, it's gonna have to stand like that, I guess.
Yeah. You try to take a breath, but you find your hearts are beating way too fast. It's hard for you to just calm down and refocus.
Is there any pain medication in the hyposprays?
For momentum, sure.
I think I'm actually out of momentum. I think I spent one for the roll that I just did, and one for the. Okay, yeah. So no, that's fine.
For a threat, you can have it.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
Sure.
Add 1 to threat.
You find some analgesics.
Oh, good. Some ibuprofen. That'll help this. Yeah, I'll go ahead and administer that.
Daring medicine, difficulty of 2. Internal medicine will apply here.
All right. I will add 1 to threat for 3 dice.
Sure.
And I'll reroll the complication with bold. Okay, that is 3 successes in total.
Very good. You've regained the ability to avoid an injury again. You did not regain. If you wish to regain stress, it will cost you 2 stress per momentum or threat spent.
I will use a momentum and add to threat for 4 more stress.
So you're at a total of 6 stress currently.
Yep.
Well, 6 available, I should say. Sorry.
Yep.
All right. Now what do you do? As the air is a little thin, but thankfully the triox is helping you capture what little oxygen is left in the room.
Okay. God. Is there a computer panel in the room?
Several.
I'll go by the closest one. I'm gonna try to give myself basic computer privileges through hacking,
Okay.
which is not a forte of mine, but
Opposed roll, daring plus security.
alright. I'm gonna add I'm gonna add as much threat as I need to add for a full 6 dice.
Okay. 6 threat to me.
Sorry everyone, I'm just trying to survive.
Next time we'll need to make sure, like, Keldar is the one who's kidnapped because he has all of these skills.
You can, and actually, I'll note that you're only able to roll 5 dice, not 6, so I'm ignoring that 9.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So that's 1, 2, 3 hits for you. 1, 2, 3, 4 for them, I believe. Can I double check that? Might be wrong. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on the dot. You can succeed at cost, but you get the feeling you're going to alert someone to your presence. But you'll have access.
What kind of access will I have? I know that I won't have, like, command
Yep,
privileges.
basic computer access. Like you were aiming for.
Okay. I will succeed at cost. And then I don't think I'm going to be able to deactivate the security fields in the room. Computer unseal door, I'll say. Oh, damn it.
Intruder alert! Intruder alert! And the door opens. Intruder alert!
I sprint out of the room.
And the scene ends.
Damn it.
Did Eston spend any time in Starfleet?
Yep.
Oh,
But
well, then you might know where to go to get to a transporter.
Well, I wasn't I wasn't necessarily in Starfleet. I was a member of the I was technically a member of the Bajoran Resistance, but not really. So I was just a doctor on one of the colonies.
So let's set up our normal bridge crew.
oops, you're not there.
Yeah, I'm there. No, damn it.
It was all just a training exercise. We were just messing with you.
That's kind of a Klingon thing to do.
Let's
assume you're
put
And I'll assume you're under cloak.
let's put Kavara at con. You want me to drag her out? Okay. Let's put our Ensign Greel, our transfer student, at a sensors, I guess, science station.
At Sensor Ops.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a better name. Ensign Madsy Greel.
Eldar, do you want to take engineering?
I was wondering if you wanted me to take the tactical.
We have two tactical.
Yeah, either or.
Oops, I shouldn't.
Or you could just kind of float, you know.
The Exo float.
Yeah, just kind of hang around and go where needed, whichever one you want to do.
I'll do that. I'll stand by your side.
Okay. So.
Oh, can I take communications?
Sure.
Alright.
So let's put. Well, you've only got 2 security officers left.
Actually, sorry, other way around. It should be over there.
Let's put Bukela at primary tactical and Buturath at secondary tactical.
Well, one of the tacticals is comms, just so you know.
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's put Ekla at this tactical, and let's get Lacour at engineering.
What is this station?
This one's unassigned, so you can use it to assist other stations or cover something or do other ship systems. Generally, it's used as the assist to engineering, but it's engineering only requires one console to operate.
Yeah, I think we are looking at here. These 4 are going to be kind of our A team of secondaries.
Let's put Barcor on this console because we're going into a situation where we could get hit by some nasty stuff. So we want to have all the engineers on deck.
Okay, so you have a secondary engineer. And this is basically the command well.
Right.
Not like those fancy Federation ships where the captain lets other people have fancy chairs on the bridge. Only he gets a chair.
Well, and Odo, when he comes onto the bridge, will snick the glaive into its purpose-built holder built into his command chair. It's okay. We need to get the ships ready to enter the Ion Storm area. We need to adjust them And then we also want to scan the storms to get as much information about them as possible before going in.
I think we have to scan them before we adjust.
Okay. It's the deal. Please scan the storms ahead of us.
Ooh, I can't see my mouse anymore. That's not good.
And since she's a joined Trill, turns out that one of her former hosts was an astrometeorologist. And so she knows a lot about space weather. Basically just giving her that talent, that focus.
Reason plus security, science, or engineering, difficulty 3, assisted by the ship's sensors plus relevant department. As you are getting a nice detailed scan.
She'll be definitely doing reason science, and she'll have a focus that applies. Difficulty 3. We do not have any momentum, so I will give you a threat for the third die. And let us see if our Starfleet exchange student worth her gach. Ugh, she is not worth her gach. So that was going to be sensors and science. No help from the ship.
You seem to be short one.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything she can do about that. This is her first activation.
Well, wouldn't you be assisting since you gave the command?
Could spend one of your directs for the scene. Oh, actually, you could spend a direct, rather. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. There are no limits to the Klingon directs. That's pretty much all we do in life. Sure. I'll assist her with presence. Command. There we go. Just made it.
How did directs differ from normal for us?
If you have the ability, it limits the number of people who can use the ability, like type of people, but you don't have a limit to how often you can use it in a scene.
It's just you and Keldar?
I'd have to look it up, but it does say something specific about which positions.
Yeah, basically, the commanding officer and his first officer can do it, but no one else is allowed.
Okay.
Because they have supreme authority over the lives of the ship. They could order you to stab yourself in the leg, and you're supposed to do it. Good commanders wouldn't do that, though. It's a waste of resources. But yeah, no. You are able to get a detailed scan. So, at the very least, you have adjusted for the gravimetric eddies. Now you just need to adjust your shields to account for the electromagnetic disturbances. And that roll would be really two using plus engineering with director plus engineering to adjust your shield harmonics to account for the disturbances.
do you want to do that, or want to have Liqueur do that? Either one of you could knock that out without any problem, I don't think.
I'll do it, and Liqueur can assist.
Okay. Someone want to grab Liqueur for the assist?
Yeah, I'll get her.
And I will give you a threat for die number 3.
Okay.
Lacole, you said, right?
Yeah, Liqueur. I think she's the
Oh,
first engineer.
Lacour, not Lacole.
I'll re-roll that 18.
Gotcha, hang on. Wisdom plus engineering. There you go. Don't think that's a crit unless EPS systems or emergency repair goes into here.
They would not, unfortunately.
And then it's not a crit.
Maymok came through with a crit. 3, 4, 6. So 3 gained.
Geoharmonics have been adjusted. You have accounted for the various hazards in the region. So as long as you don't literally fly into the center of an eddy, you'll be fine.
Oda will look over to Arillis. Give me all ships.
Yes, Joe, giving you all ships.
This is Oda. All hands to battle stations. Secure for foul weather. Drop cloaks. We are entering the storm. Bah! And I'll cut the channel. Take us in, Kavara.
All right.
Can I start one of them good old Klingon battle chant things?
Yay!
Sure. You can rally with presence plus command.
Dear daughters too, the blood of battle washes clean, the warrior brave and true.
I don't know if this is oratory or Klingon religion.
Depends how you're motivating them.
Oh, well, you know me, I like to get all religious, so I'm going to sing us some of the deeds of Kalis and, how we could try to attain some of his glory or something like that.
Whoops. No, stop. All
Spin
right.
went through it.
1 third being spent. Diff was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 momentum generated. As the songs of Kalis ring loud and true.
Do float, dang it, if you want to create an advantage from that.
Oh, we have 2 float. Yeah. Can I have particularly inspired Bukela so that maybe their initial shot is easier because they're psyched up for this?
Sure. Spilsbury Bob says, if Chio is going religious, then I'm going REM and losing mind. REM. REM?
REM Speedwagon, or is it REM? I don't
It's
remember which
REM.
one.
Shiny, happy people.
Stop. I don't want to get struck.
Eldar, is there any way that we could disrupt a phased cloak?
I don't know, GM. Is there any way we can disrupt a phase cloak?
Well, throw some mumbo jumbo at him and he may let you do it.
Hey, there's a case-type station in there.
So you want to override the flux capacitors of the
Insight security, difficulty 5.
Worth
flux
it.
generators.
We can route it to the deflector dish.
There used to be a very useful webpage with technical mumbo jumbo you could like throw out by combining it.
Yeah, there's also like widget you can
Technobabble
write for
generator.
Roll20.
I got my mouse back, hooray!
Congratulations.
Well, I was blindly clicking for a few minutes there going, I can't figure out how to fix this. I'll figure it out. No mouse playthrough. Let's do this.
Could I use my value? The wind does not respect a fool.
Sure.
Okay. I will spend my determination toward that value.
I don't want to give you a thumbs up. You can't see me. Yeah, sure. Chat
Okay,
knows. Chat knows.
I do not recover my determination this time.
Take that.
I will.
Damn right.
Okay. Okay. Wait, no. Okay. Then let's see. I would normally be spending 6 less 2. No, less 1. So I'll spend 5 momentum. Cloaking devices focused.
Yep. 5 on the button.
7.
7.
Determination.
Well, I'm cheating, so 5. No, it's 7. You're right. Just fire wildly and see what sticks.
Quantum torpedo.
Torpedoes. Full spreads.
Hit them with phased matter. Tetryon particles may be able to stick to them if you find the right phase variance. That's not wrong. Radioactive particles bounded to phase tetryons. When the tetryons bind to the phased emitter, the radiation will light them up so you can see them. And it'll radiate the damn cowards for hiding. That is not far off from what I was thinking. He said, totally meaning with that. No, no. You could basically mechanically what you would be doing is you could basically fire a non-damaging yields. Basically, you're changing out the warhead for instead of having the antimatter matter reaction that torpedoes tend to have. You are putting in something else, basically a type of gas that will spread out into an area. So you'd fire into any one of these zones, and you can check. And as long as you hit a diff 3, you'll like it's like firing a torpedo. You're just firing it instead of firing at a specific ship. You're just firing into the zone, and it spreads out across the zone. If there's anything phased in there, they'll basically light up on your sensors.
And is it correct that because they're out of phase with us, they can't fire from cloak on us?
Correct. They would. The only way that they could fire was they'd have to unphase the torpedo assembly, but then it would fall away from the ship. So, they'd have to unphase completely. Now,
So basically, this gives them immunity to us if they want it, but like if they want to fight, they have to give us a proper fight.
Yeah.
So we want to do it.
So,
Can we still scan the system to find the cloaked ship? Or do we have... can we find the cloaked ship and then shoot this torpedo in order to bring them into phase and then fire on them with normal weapons?
I don't think the torp brings them into phase. It just makes them visible because while they're out of phase, we go, aha, there you are.
Yeah,
Right.
that's largely the thing. So you could
Yeah.
attempt to scan to try to narrow down your search pattern, because as you can see from the map, if you zoom out, even this area is huge. There's a lot of space to cover. So
We picked up that station on the current zones.
yep, you see sensors indicate some sort of passive sensors indicate some sort of space station.
Okay. Well, I will tell Oda that I will work on torpedo modifications.
I think Starfleet may already be aware of the transphasic torpedoes from Voyager, but I don't know if they'd tell us about it.
For 2 momentum and 2 threat, you can know about it.
Are you sure? Because they're like capable of destroying a Borg cube with one shot. So I don't know. Do you want us to have that?
Sure. Well, it's because it's 2 momentum and 2 threat. If anything costs you threat, it either means it's so powerful that I think you're escalating the fight, or there's something wrong with it that if a complication arises, I'm gonna pick on you for it.
I say we spend it.
Yeah, I'm not aware if this will actually help us, but if he's gonna give us like the most powerful torpedo possible, then let's take it.
Well, we have the data anyway.
Oh yeah, it may take him a year to build the thing, but we have the data.
Yep.
Okay, so we're out of cloak because we have to be going through the storm, I would assume.
Yep. Oh, and I'll actually highlight that actually with that spend, because I'll be fair, I'll be a little nice here. You can have one manufactured that can be put in a tube, but if you want to buy extras, it will cost you the same amount. Because they're so experimental.
Then we should do that, because then we basically have a starbase killer. We don't need it for the fight with the galaxy, but if they have a starbase here, then that torpedo should take care of it. If it could take care of a scale 15 cube, I think it could probably take care of whatever station they have.
Motzi, give me a scan of that station. We've picked them up on passive. They almost certainly have picked us up already.
Oops, sorry, I'm wrong. Sorry, that's Reason Science difficulty 3, assisted by Sensor Science.
Yeah, that might get their attention if we destroy their space station.
Well, assuming it's theirs. I mean, we know this is a pretty big region for smugglers and whatever. This is also an excellent place for that. So, does someone want to grab Motzi?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, sure, I'll take her. Unless Keldar wants to have a go. Where is Modzi?
Under
Right
Science.
bottom of the science.
Oh, yeah, got her. Alright. Just get her stats up. Oh, she has a Starfleet character sheet.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's an
Starfleet.
exchange officer.
Yeah, can I roll on the Starfleet sheet then? There's a dice roller built in there, right?
Yep.
I think her stats are only on that side, aren't they?
You could manually enter them if I was being finicky, but you can use the Starfleet stuff.
Here you are.
She's not assisting. She's the main roller. So roll another one.
Gotcha. Do you want to give her
Probably.
more dice?
Yeah, probably roll another 2.
Alright. Here's 2 more.
Plus the ship. Dang.
He's making it up for that last time. There we go. So that's 3, 4 on a diff 3, so we get 1.
Since sensors seem to indicate that this is a small outpost with minimal people aboard. It seems to be built in the same tech with the same tech as the local denizens have. I forgot the name already.
All right, then we should not blow it up, I think.
The Kawaxa.
All that for me, GM. Please.
Kawaxa.
Thank you. I would have started it with a Q.
It has basic level shields to protect itself from the storm, but it's essentially at navigation shield, like normal shielding. They don't need to have their full power shields going to protect themselves. For a momentum, I'll add that there's something else. I'll add another bit of detail to that scan since you got so many hits.
Let's do it.
It appears that there are some mines in those two zones deployed next to the station.
Hmm.
Do they appear to be part of like a laid minefield pattern?
Yep.
So there might be more than those two.
I'm going to pull up the shared logs from the Achilles and see if they mentioned the species or affiliation of the Shackleton natives that were used in the attempt on the subspace relay.
That would be the Quotu.
Quotu. Okay. So not the... Okay, different people.
Yeah. Like, you're probably... The only reason you even know the species name is you were listening to the subspace.
Right.
And your translator caught it. Like, it's not so hard. Your translators were able to translate it enough into Klingon. You were able to understand them. Yep.
Perhaps we send a message to them that we're hunting someone, but they are not in danger from us.
Simon, I believe your negotiation skills might come in useful here. See if you can contact them and find out everything you can.
Yes, Joe, right away. Computer, pull up on screen.
Reason plus... It's a low diff roll, but you still have to roll for it. For healing somebody. Actually, it's diff 0, but I'll let you grab some... let's try to grab some momentum here. I typed in the wrong thing. Control plus engineering, diff 0, assisted by something in the ship. Comms engineering.
Okay. Somebody roll the ship, please, for me real quick.
Use those sense ores.
Comms engineering. No help, but no hurt.
Hurt. Why'd you make me roll this, kid?
For exactly that reason.
Why'd you make me roll this, man? Crazy.
Diff 0. I mean, yes, you made it.
Yeah, I made it, but at what cost?
Spinning that complication.
Yeah, you can cash it in. I'm not gonna argue that one.
On screen appears a Ferengi. Hello. To what pleasure does Godak Station get to address the mighty Klingon vessel hailing us? Oh, hello, fellow Ferengi. How fortunate. Have you captured a Klingon vessel?
How fortunate indeed. No, I'm Daimon Arillis, here on behalf of my employer, Jo Oda of House SupQit'aH, aboard the Maymock. You are not what I expected to encounter on this station. What are you doing so far from home?
Oh, just educating the local merchants on the finer points of the rules of acquisition. They seem to
And
not
have
know
you
how to
made,
fix deep space outposts, and I decided to make myself a little business.
And have you made progress?
Yes, the station's fully operational now, and I've made quite a bit of a nest egg here, I must say.
Good, good. Would you excuse me for a moment, please?
Of course.
I'll put him on mute. Joda, we're searching for something here. Is this correct?
Yes, we are. We must find the Galaxy class we've tracked into the storm and teach them the folly of kidnapping our doctor.
Aha, the Galaxy class. Are you willing to part with any funds from your treasury should the need arise? I'll take that as a yes. Thank you, Joe. Back on screen. Diamond Godek. We are here searching for a Galaxy class that maybe came stomping through this system a while back. I don't suppose you've seen anything along the sorts?
I don't know. I mean, I'm a very busy man. I have many business venture presence roles coming up. He's pretending he knows nothing, but you know the dance. He's trying to milk you for money.
Of course.
It's an opposed roll. Presence plus command or con, I would say.
No, I'm choosing command. Why do you keep giving me con? Look, it's not gonna work.
One day, you'll forget.
One of these days. I'll give you 2 threat back, so take it. Oh, what are you doing there, son?
Buying all the dice. He wants as much money as he can.
Of course he does. He doesn't know how good I am. My focus in negotiation will apply here, I presume. I'll take that as a yes.
Oh, sorry. What was the
keep
question again?
trucking on. My focus in negotiation will
Yeah,
apply
definitely,
here.
definitely.
Let's roll.
Nah, I see what you did there.
Solid. And now I'm going to use my medal for every threat that I gave you, and I gave you 2 threat. I'm
Yep.
going to roll a challenge dice. So 2 challenge dice.
I lose one of
You can
those.
remove one of those threats, yeah.
That way works for me too, because either way we're still checking how much threat I got. Some people roll in advance, but as long as I know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Alrighty, friend. So you have a this and a that. And shoo, little fly, go away. Thank you.
You know, for a roll of 16, or for a target number of 16, that was a pretty poor roll. I'm not going to lie. Used to have better success on this. Oh well.
Wow, that didn't work. Try again, friend.
What the hell?
Went for a full deck.
There we go.
It seems we tie.
He's got a comp.
Oh, he used the value, did he?
He has a special ability.
Oh, he does he?
Oh. I'm gonna spend a threat to reroll that d20. That failed 20. Not a hit, but I removed the complication. I'm sitting on... I don't think I have another way to reroll. I've used both his abilities. The third one does not apply in this situation. I don't think. No.
Sitting on 6 successes. Am I getting this right?
Oh,
I'm
actually,
basically short 3.
I actually saved the threat there. I got a free d20 out of that because of the fact you're a Klingon ship and you're scary. But he's at a total of 5 hits.
Okay, so the difference is 2 hits.
Yep.
Hum. I could re-roll, but I think that would be a bit futile. I could at most get 1 hit.
Assist.
Let me think of something with one of my talents. Let me see how this
Okay.
works exactly. Not this one, the other one.
was thinking of just like painting various parts of the station with targeting sensors.
Oh, there you
Kind
go.
of, as kind of an intimidation assist to get
I'd
a
like
just a
to,
basic assist roll.
I'd like to put one of my talents in use. Greed is eternal. As guided by the rules of acquisition, a proper Ferengi seeks profit in every endeavor when engaged in negotiations, including social conflict, that have the potential for the Ferengi to profit financially. They may add 1 point to threat in order to re-roll their dice pool. The entire thing.
Go ahead. Greed is indeed eternal.
Take a threat, I suppose. I'm gonna be re-rolling 4 dice.
Offer him stock options.
Out of 16.
Would you like to buy some futures and julaberries?
See if this will work this time.
Buy futures in House SupQit'aH.
Whoa!
Nice.
What is a worse roll?
That is indeed a worse roll. Woo! Damn, Nelly.
Do you have to take the second dice pool, or do you take the better of the two?
No,
It
you have.
doesn't
It's a reroll.
mention- It's a reroll. It doesn't mention anything, but yeah, I'm assuming. You know what? For the fuck of it, I'm gonna take it. Let's roll. Yeah, let's roll with 2 comps. Bring it on me. Lay it on me.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I do get threat for this.
See, this is why you don't get to do things.
Man.
Good golly. So I get
Lay
like
it on
4.
me, my man. I'll take it. I'm
Actually,
a man.
I'll
I'll take it.
I'll take 4 just for succeeding. One complication is going to come to effect. I'm just going to take 2 for the other thing. Well, of course. I mean, I'd love to do business with an enterprising diamond like your... And all of a sudden, his station explodes.
Damn it, I wanted to do that.
Oh, God damn it. It's not my fault. I couldn't talk him into exploding. Theory. Joe, there seems to be a large quantity of space debris in front of us. Did one of your men get a bit too trigger happy?
Negative.
Then
Scan for
it seems we have a problem.
Scan for evidence of where those shots came from. It appears that our cloaked friend may be closer than we thought.
Insight security difficulty 2 as something occurs to one of you.
Do you want all of us to roll this?
1 main roll. Others can assist as you're all kind of thinking about what possibly made this happen.
I'll take it since I've got bold. Yeah. So I'll give you a threat for a 3rd die. I can use the character sheet now. Inside, I said security. 3 dice. Strategy tactics for focus?
Sure.
Okay. Gain 1. Having multiple screens at home has ruined me for playing on just one small laptop screen.
You take a quick glance at your sensor readouts on your chair. You do some thinking. It seems that someone remotely detonated the mines. He didn't know those mines were there. And there's actually more mines out that decloaked. Like half the mines were out in the open and half decloaked. And one of the fields detonated on the station. You actually sense that sensors can passively sense a sensor ping coming off of each of the fields, as if they're reaching out and searching for stuff. The sort of thing you would do if you're trying to set out. It's the sort of thing Romulans and Klingons do to each other when they're throwing mines out to scare out cloaked ships.
Perhaps we should start using the find the enemy torpedo.
I don't think there was a torpedo.
No. We should use our torpedoes that we can modify to find them.
So, GM, the aura around the mines, is that kind of their trip range, or?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we need to first, let's see if we can scan for any more cloaked mines.
While you're doing that, may I offer an alternative? I didn't get to speak to the gentleman, the diamond in question, but he should have a file in the FCA's records. If I do a bit of digging, perhaps he made some reports. He may have made some reports on missing galaxy classes roaming around his newfound starbase.
See what you can find.
Yes, sure.
Wrong.
So yeah, I think we need to try and narrow down the area for firing the finding torpedo with scans for the cloaked galaxy. And ideally, we also need to figure out this minefield. Did we get a recording by any chance of the transmission that caused the mines to decloak?
To look over your files to see if that transmission was detectable and if there's anything usable from it. We'll call that... Okay, so resolving these two rolls before I forget. Reason plus command, difficulty 3, assisted by computer's command, or influence plus reputation, for a realist looking up that information from the FCA.
I'll use influence plus rep. What's our influence?
I want to say it's 10. Might be wrong.
I think we boosted it back up to 10.
It's at 9.
On my character sheet.
I'll take one of those momentums. Here's the first roll. That second one's a crit. Actually, let's check if it's a crit. Negotiation, intergalactic law,
Bang.
or trade routes.
Intergalactic law for sure. Or trade routes. Hell, both of those hit it.
Alright, that's a crit, then that's 3 successes. I'll roll our house influence plus my rep, which is a 14. If our influence is, what's it called? 10? That's just 1 dice.
Yep. I must have old information. I'll take the...
Every time! God damn you! I'll take it. I'll swallow that again, like a man. I'll take it.
According to your FCA files, you basically call back to your ship to go, hey, what do we have on him? And it's like, oh, well, we have a cop. Ferengi ships probably check with the FCA every so often to have up-to-date information on who has a license, who doesn't, because you do not want to be trading with someone who's blackballed. But this guy was on the verge of being blackballed because, according to investigations, he had been trading with the Tripolity for an extended period of time, which could be construed as aiding pirates openly, which the FCA can't openly approve of. But they never had any hard evidence that he did that. There was just a lot of suspicion. He just happened to be very close to Narinder Station and somehow wasn't losing money, even though Starfleet lost control of the Narinder sector.
I will forward the information to Oda's station and omit any sensitive information, which may compromise the Ferengi Trade Alliance. No mentions of any galaxy classes?
Not a 1.
Not a 1. Alright.
Aldar, do you want to take the reason engineering?
That seems reasonable.
But
that's difficulty 3. I will spend give you a threat for... Oh, it's been threat.
Don't worry about it. Something in the background happens while you're doing this.
I'll give you 3 threat for 4 dice.
3 threat for 4 dice, you say?
3 threat for 2 extra dice for a total of 4 dice is what I mean.
Roger.
And then focuses. Cloaking devices?
I have to say no here.
Okay. How about communication systems?
Yes. Good golly.
Wow.
Here, Realist, that's how you roll right there.
Oh,
For some reason,
Man.
no medical supplies show up. Go figure.
got captured by the bad guys sure is getting salty.
I'm upset.
6, 7.
Well, sometimes I get upsetty spaghetti as well. Like right now.
3.
God damn it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So yeah, 8 hits against a diff 3. 5 momentum generated.
That's why Keldar's the man.
It seems
We're capped.
a subspace signal was sent that was hidden across a certain electromagnetic disturbance frequency to trigger one of the to trigger the minefield. They are whatever that signal was. It happened in this area. It's on this. It's in the system somewhere. This gathering of storms somewhere.
Can we replicate that signal?
You could replicate it, but you don't know what their command codes are. They might have different command codes for different clusters.
We also have 4 bonus momentum from that roll since the Maymok assisted.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we could like try using the signal and just set the computer up to try like run through possible command codes. It may take a long time, but maybe something will happen for us.
When you say it's within this system, do you mean this
This map
circular yellow thing?
within one of these 4 circular areas, so it didn't come from outside this system.
So not necessarily this yellow circle, but it could be one of the other 3 as well.
Yep.
Maybe spend some of that 4 bonus momentum to see if you can't narrow things down. Give us a little bit of a pointer.
Yeah, can I do that?
Sure. For 2 momentum, I'm willing to narrow down the field a bit.
Yes, please.
Not
2 bonus
this
left.
system. It is no. The signal did not come from this system. It came from further away. From this area, I should say. Sorry. So it came from one of the other 3.
Spend another 2 to get it more precise?
Sure. Not this area.
Not that area.
No more bonus left. We do have 6 momentum in the pool.
Oh, do you want to... Eston wants us to spend more. What do you think?
I mean, if we can knock it down to a single area, that would be helpful.
Can we spend another 2 to eliminate the final one?
Sure. Not this area.
Okay.
Seems like a good use of momentum to me. I don't know.
Spending 4 threat.
Are you going to tell us what you're spending it for, or is it mysterious?
Something is responding to your scans and your presence.
We haven't given them any presents. It's not Christmas time.
Boo.
Did you just boo me, Eston?
I did, yeah, sorry.
Some of these mines are uncloaked, right?
All these 3 are uncloaked.
Okay. So let's scan and see what type of mine we're dealing with.
Reason plus security difficulty 2, assisted by sensors plus security. To identify the mine.
You want tactical to handle that? Who's at tactical?
It's Chio's twin.
Belka. Belka.
Yeah. Belka, yeah.
Geo, you want to play yourself?
What do you want me to do?
What's the
Well,
diff? Sensor security. No, wait. Reason security difficulty 2. Actually, Oda will take that. I'm rolling a 15 with bold. Sorry, a 14 with bold.
What's the roll?
Reason security.
Reason security, diff
Yeah.
2.
Geo doesn't do reason rolls.
She's
Well,
not very
and
reasonable.
I'm better than our the person we've currently got at TAC. So, okay, I'll give you a threat for the third die.
Whoops.
And bold. Reason security, diff 2. However, I don't think I have a focus that applies here. Unless you'll take strategy or tactics.
No.
Okay, didn't figure. Whoa! Do have a reroll, so
That's rough. Well,
there's one. Let's see if the ship, because there's security. Oh, Oda. Oh wait. Scroll. Okay, so none of the metals will do anything for me. I think the only way I can do anything about that is to use a determination. I'm not really sure if I want to do it here. What do you guys think?
We're a little over halfway through, so I don't know.
Okay. Let's. I don't think any of my values actually apply here.
Well, if Oda's having trouble with this, Jim, would it be possible for someone else to try it, even if it's like increased difficulty or something?
they can certainly try to assist.
All right, I'll throw you a. What's the difficulty? It's only 2, right?
Yep.
Activate
Alright.
the security officer, the tactical officer. Sorry, guys. I thought that was just a bad roll on my part.
And this is how the honor duel to kill Oda began.
That's okay, I
Well,
forgive
the
you.
second one.
Third, technically.
are you rolling for Belka, Geo?
No, she's only got one better than me at the moment, so I'm just gonna roll me. We can wait to activate her until we need her.
There we go. Barely.
It's about as good as thinking as Geo can do.
Magnetic plasma mines. Essentially, if these things hit you, they have the. Not only do they have the area effect, but they have the spread effect because they all kind of once one sees you, they all get drawn toward a ship that has a magnetic field, and just swarm the thing, peppering the heck out of it.
Can we like?
Also has persistent.
Polarity?
Could we modify a torpedo to generate a magnetic field? Like remove the antimatter warhead and just have it generate a magnetic field and have them like all run into each other and blow up?
Yep.
Let's do that.
Sounds like a plan. Cloaked.
I think what we're finding out that we need is some like quick change torpedo launcher, because every problem we've encountered has at some point been optioned as a solution with a torpedo.
Hey, we found Keldar's long-term engineering project. We'll increase that by +1 for each.
So does that mean the first one costs 1 threat, the second costs 2?
No. It's every time you fire torpedoes, you give the GM threat.
Right.
So
Okay.
is this to take out one of the targets or all of them?
One of the fields. So you'd be clearing one of the this field in particular, and that's assuming a long range shot from your current position.
Can we scan the sector to see if there are any more cloaked torpedoes?
You can certainly try.
No?
Reason plus. Actually, I'll correct myself. You could, but your sensors only reach out so far because this is a large amount of space that you're covering. Think each circle is basically like the same size as like the Earth solar system. They're huge reaches of space, and sensors only reach so far. So you'd have to be in another circle to scan that circle effectively. So you have found all the mines that are in this area, as far as you're aware. If you want to find it in the other circles, you'd have to enter the circle and then do a new sweep to check.
Oh, well, then we don't need to destroy them. We could just circumvent them and then go to the
here,
other circle
yeah.
and scan in the other circle.
Madzi, Keldar, is it possible to modify our deflector dish somehow or some other way to cause our ships to be surrounded by a magnetic field that would repulse these magnetic mines, similar to the equal poles of two magnets repelling each other?
That sounds like a daring engineering diff 2 assisted by structure engineering task to create an advantage that will make it harder for the mines to hit you. Won't make you immune to them, because modern mines will have ways to adjust for that sort of thing, but it will make it. I have to roll to hit you with the mines. So you would basically increase my difficulty +1. Base diff for me is like 3, so it would up it to 4. And mine, yeah. What else I can say about that? I can't tell you more. Without revealing what the other side's doing.
Like a task I should do. I'll give you a threat for another die.
Certainly. Look at all that threat. I feel so comfortable.
Shields for focus?
I don't know. That seems kind of a reach. But yeah, go ahead. Well, I know. I can't just answer a question straight. I have to make a joke every time. It's the law. Okay. 4 hits so far. Plus structure engineering of the ship. Come on, complication. Aw. You have indeed created the advantage of having a magnetic shielding augment. So it'll make magnetic mines less effective at locking onto you. Because they'll draw towards you, and then they'll immediately suddenly start being repulsed, and then they have to. The only way they can overcome that's by their little thrusters, which are only so fast.
All right. Well, I say then we head for the region where the signal came from and see if we can't find our enemy.
If you wanted to warp there from your current position. It would cost you 10 power.
as soon as we get there, then we have to like get power back.
Or power, yeah. Fortunately, the Maymok's a good power ship. We have the secondary reactors and improved power, so we get more power back for our buck.
Plus
So
my engineering role.
Yeah.
Whenever I perform an engineering task to reroute power, I generate 1 point bonus momentum to be used. So let's do it.
Yep. Okay. So we'll spend the 10 power. It's down to 5 power. Is that your chair or a dog?
That was my child, I think.
Oh, okay. This is
And-
like a squeak.
As you warp into the system, new scene as we check in with Eston. So you get your full power pack.
He just didn't want us using any of our cool stuff.
Can I use this one? Not really. Okay, I'll do this one. Oops, that didn't help me. There we go. Eston,
Yeah.
you're at full stress because it's a new scene.
Thank God. Okay.
You're welcome. So
Dick. Really quickly, can I? Is there a computer console right there?
yeah,
Okay. I want to pull up really quickly a layout just
Oh.
of this deck.
I forgot.
Oh.
I remember now. You set off a red alert.
I did.
You're in combat rounds. You get to go first.
Okay. I want to access this computer terminal right here and get a layout of the deck, and I want specific information about all of the rooms that are on this deck.
Reason plus con. Difficulty 2.
Okay. One moment, please.
Less that it's hard to do, more that you're. It's just you're trying to do it quickly and quickly reading what you're finding.
Can I make a case for engineering because I'm looking at specific plans for the layout of a ship?
Con's navigating your way around. I'll have to take con, unfortunately.
Okay. Difficulty of 2. I will.
Oh, I blepped out? Oh, okay. Not sure what that was about.
I will spend 1 momentum for an additional dice.
One momentum for an additional die. Got it. Whew.
My con is 1, unfortunately. But my reason's good. Okay. That's great. 2 successes.
Yep, you have a layout of the ship, and like you pull it up and you quickly read over it and try to do your best to memorize it.
Okay. Is there a transporter on this deck?
For 2 momentum, sure. Question from the chat: do you have a red alert klaxon on, or am I hearing things? That is the TNG red alert sound. There is a Klingon one, but there's a lot of background noise from the soundboard I have. So.
Also, he's not on a Klingon ship.
True. Yes, for 2 momentum, there can be a transporter pad. Just happens to be on this deck.
How about a communications access terminal?
Same cost. You're creating an advantage. That's why I'm charging you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do communications first.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my way there.
Okay.
Do I know specifically what is in? Since I looked over my hyposprays, do I know what drugs are in them?
You basically have a med kit worth of stuff. I'll give that to you at this point.
Okay, so I have a standard complement of hypospray drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will, unless you're swift tasking, I'm gonna take the ship's roll.
I am going to swift task, yeah. Or how much does that cost? Just 2?
It would cost 2, so 1 momentum, 1 threat.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to sprint to that communications, wherever that is.
Fitness con, difficulty 0.
2 of my main skills. Here we go. I will add to threat for 1 die. One additional die.
Sure. Oh, roll 20. Not sure why you're doing that.
That is 1 success.
Okay, let me just get the room set out here.
Yeah, take your time.
Well, you heard it, everybody. I should take my time. Eston said, so I can be here for the next... I need to make a map here, just craft for a bit. I'll be here for an hour or 2. Welcome to the crafting map stream.
Today on Crafting Maps, we're crafting maps.
And let's make your life a little difficult. Sorry, a little more difficult. Like I'm implying it was easy. Alright. So you did succeed, so you did bank a momentum. So since it's diff 0, you automatically move 1 zone. Whoops, these need to be on the map layer. Try again there, GM. There you go. So we go there. You know you need to get into this room. So you're looking, you would need 1, 2, 3, 4 momentum to get into that room this turn.
Okay. Wow, that's a really hard decision, and there could be... Okay. I have, like, maybe one vial of anesthetic. I don't think I have any other weapons on the way there. Would I have seen that there's, like... There wouldn't be, like, an armory, but is there, like, an emergency station for weapons in case of borders? Right in there.
Yep.
And that will cost only 3 momentum to get in there, right?
2, 3. Yep.
I will spend I will do that. I think I have 2 momentum, so I can just spend threat then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And before actually, you get in there. That's all you can do for now. Because that was an action.
Okay.
Their turn. I have to deploy security to that area, so I actually need to roll to do this. How hard is this? It's not a 0. I know I actually have to roll something. Yeah. They're not super concerned yet, so I'm not going to roll a ton of dice here. I guess this is from the ship at all. I do. There. Just hiding some information from the players at a moment.
Okay.
There. Because I don't want to whisper the roll, because you're supposed to see the dice hit the table, but you don't necessarily know who's doing the rolling. Oh, it needed me. I needed to select the ship anyway, so I did that for no reason. Cool. I gain 2 threat. Find my tokens. Where are they? Unfortunately, this next turn for the ship goes again, because I have the ship's scale in turns.
Oh my god.
He's in there! Computer, open the door! The door slides open, and you see a security detail pointing rifles at you.
Oh, okay.
I imagine you like to dive for cover.
Do they look like they're gonna shoot me?
Yep, they're about to.
Uh,
Imagine we'll roll. If they whiff, you won't have to dive for cover at all.
The other option might be to just surrender, which is not a great option for a Klingon, but it would prevent you from making a new character.
I love that. Well, I mean, these are theoretically Federation guys, so they may just be stunning the shit out of you. But also, I love the fact that you're so surprised that they're actually going to shoot you.
I don't know that. I'm very, very nervous. Okay.
Shoulder arms, aim, fire, and they fire the squad.
Oh. Okay.
But they're firing
Oh.
muskets, so they're not going to hit you.
Firing is the quad. Oh, that's not cool, man.
I guess I'll dive for cover then.
Daring plus security. Difficulty apparently of 2.
The good news is they're Section 31, so they spend so much time learning intrigue that they forgot how to shoot their phasers.
Okay. Daring security.
Oh wait, no, it's the prone icon I need.
Okay. I guess alright. Well, I don't have any momentum left.
You can always get a threat.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give enough for threat to have a total of 4 dice. So add 3 to threat.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. You dive behind cover, and they hit bits of the wall as you run and you dive down to duck behind one of the lockers. You can hear it sizzling into the and scorching the lockers a bit, and you see their green phaser streams. But still, that many shots probably would have even knocked you down.
Okay. Is it still their turn?
Yep. I have a few more turns left.
Great.
Locker room 225. Force field. And they attempt to enact a force field and trap you in the room. You did not want me to hit those. No. Okay. So a Div 4 force field has appeared across this doorway. So whether it's shooting it or powering it down or what have you. Oh, if I could draw lines, that'd be nice.
Can I talk to
you're in
them at this point?
I'll also point out that you're in an armory, and where you're heading is due south.
Oh.
I was turned 1, 2, 3, 4. Gas the room now.
Okay.
Yeah, getting the ship's attention is not good news.
Jeez, they're just absolutely killing these.
I gain a threat, and no effect because you took Triox earlier.
Oh, thank God. Okay. So it is now officially my turn, though, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. I have one more turn left. Well, I'm not going to turn up the gas because I need to wait for the gas to hit you, so there's no reason to turn it up. What I'll do, in case you got access to my transporters, I'm going to lock you out of those. That seems like a good idea. I'm not going to spend any threat. I think I'm doing okay. Everything's fine. He's going to be knocked out in a second. I'm just being paranoid. You see on a nearby console that that there's an alert that transporters have been deactivated for this deck.
Okay.
They were the last to act in the round. You're the first to act in the new round. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're currently prone, hiding behind some lockers, and the whole ship knows you're here, and they seem very organized.
Might be time to take a Jeffrey's tube somewhere else.
Yeah, this is gonna turn into a really long kind of cat and mouse thing. Do I know if can I scream? Can I yell through the force field? Well, they'll still hear me, right?
Yeah, it doesn't deafen you.
Okay. I am going to stand. Before I stand up, what's in the locker that I'm right by?
There seems to be various bits of armor, Type 2 phasers, Type 1 phasers, grenades. You know, it's an armory for a Starfleet vessel. Or Starfleet alike, anyway.
Okay.
You also see there's some batleths, Romulan disruptors, Klingon disruptors, and then some what appear to be some strange Earth. Actually, you've been on Earth for a while. You see various long blades, like fencing swords.
Okay.
Or a military saber is a better way to put it.
How much can I grab in one turn?
It'll take a minor to grab something out of there, and it costs you opportunity and threat to grab items. So if you're just grabbing like a Type 1 or a Type 2 phaser, that costs nothing because there's a ton of those, and it's like I sweep my hand and grab one of them. Who cares if I knock them down? But if you're grabbing a rifle, you kind of have to fiddle with it for a bit and pull it loose and prime it and all that stuff, so it costs more.
Okay.
Same for batleths and duck tangs, all that stuff. Anything that's standard shoots costs anything.
What's your daring security?
11.
What's your control security?
12.
Yeah, just grab a rifle. You're gonna get the most success out of that.
I'm kind of thinking that I'm not going to be able to get out of this.
Well, you could just play cat and mouse for a while. The other option is to surrender, which has reputation negatives.
I would say grenades are quite useful against...
Grenades are useful too.
Squads, since that's area. Well, and of course you can charge your rifle or phaser for area as well.
Okay. I'm going to grab a Type 2 phaser. Before I do that, is there a Jeffrey's Tube entrance in here?
For 2 threat, sure.
They're just gonna turn on a force field, and you disable transporters for this deck. That doesn't mean that side-to-side transports don't work.
You could also go down a deck.
I mean, in theory, he could also cut through the wall.
Does a Type 2 phaser have enough power to get through a wall?
If you wanted to fire through the wall, it'd be like a diff 1 task to hit the wall, and you'd need to do... It depends on how sturdy the ship is. Given the amount of response you're getting, this ship's probably... you're looking at somewhere between... You need to get at least 4 to 7 hits on your attack roll to do enough damage to cause a breach through the wall.
Oh well, worth a shot.
Yeah, I'll take a Type 2 phaser.
Oh no, it's diff 1, but 7 damage to blow a hole. Sorry, I didn't want to mislead you there.
Okay. I'm going to take the Type 2 phaser. I'm going to spend threat for 2 like grenades that I think you can like just program grenades, right?
The grenades come in batches of like 3.
Yep, they come in batches of 3. So it'd be one.
Yeah.
So you'd be giving me 3 for a batch of 3, essentially.
Okay, I will do that, and then I'll just for one batch, and then I will go through the Jeffries tube.
Oh, you're spending for the Jeffries tube to appear?
I will.
To have, sorry, narratively speaking, it was always there to begin with.
Right.
So you miner, grab some stuff. You're gonna need to give me an additional. Oh, you can sprint. What am I? No, you need to miner to sprint. So you need to give me one more threat to have movement to keep. No, I got that wrong. Sorry, I'm goofing myself. So it's just fitness plus con difficulty. Actually, you're trying to outrun these guys, I assume. So let's call this fitness security opposed to cover you evade, trying to very quickly crawl through there before they can get a lock on you again.
Okay.
As you grab what you can off the floor and very quickly dash into one of the nearby Jeffries tubes and scurry away.
Okay. Fitness security opposed. God, I'm just adding so much to threat. And there's like 4 of them, and they're probably highly trained. Yeah, I'll add 2 more dice with threat.
Okay.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
As you're crawling through the Jeffries tubes, I'm going to spend 2 threats. Force fields pop up and trap you where you are. And the scene ends with you having a moment of, what do I do? They're not they haven't gotten to you yet, but you get the feeling you don't have a ton of time before they find you tucked away in one of these junction areas.
Yeah, all right.
Music, shh. It's fine, music. It's okay. Well, you're not shooting it. You're not shooting it. Meanwhile, out in stars, Maymok has arrived in the target system.
We want to find the enemy torpedo.
We want to scan for the mines first.
Yes, can we please scan for mines?
Sure. I mean, if you want to. I mean, you don't have to, but it's fine.
Gosh, okay.
So we need to program the advanced warhead manufacturing for both the Tetrion torpedoes and the anti-mine torpedoes.
Who's rolling the reason plus science? Do you want me to roll that? Before?
Yeah, I think you're probably the best bet there.
Okay.
Because this was Mozzie's first activation, so she doesn't have any way to leverage.
I mean, I've got a solid 13 in this. I can assist if you want.
That would be very helpful, please.
Mozzie can assist too.
There you go.
Arilla's finally pulling his weight. No, I'm just kidding.
Man,
So cold.
This is where he's gonna rip off every
fucking Klingons. I swear to God.
Don't worry, you'll make up for it by ripping off every NPC I introduce. It's fine.
That's Mozzie's assist.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess I will give you 3 threat for 2 extra dice.
Okay.
Those cloaking devices focus supply.
Yep.
And let's roll the ship. Woohoo! Way to go, ship.
That gains us 1.
There you go.
Now, there's the first set of mines, anyway.
Spending 10
And-
threat.
Oh, my goodness.
He's just going to end our scene. We just got started.
Is that what you're doing?
Nope.
No, I think he's bringing in something.
Something decloaks the minute you scan the area.
Let's play get the Daredex.
It appears to be the saucer section of a galaxy class. And stepping out of the cloud appears to be a massive, massive energy being. You are in combat at this time. As streams of electric power streak out and brush against your shields, and you actually notice your shields almost went down, but your pilot was smart enough to kind of evade out of instinct. Like, whoa, when they dodge it, but yeah, there it is.
Did you say giant electric being?
Yeah, it's a giant energy being of some kind.
Great.
You get to act first because you saw them before they could ambush you.
Each zone is a range increment.
Correct.
So we're at long range to the galaxy saucer.
Correct.
Yep. You've got quick to action, right, Keldar?
Yes.
Okay. Because we could. Long range is perfect for quantum torpedoes. We could start hammering the Galaxy class, or we could hit it with the. Well, that's not going to do any good. We could hit the saucer section. We'll need to maneuver in closer if we want to use our planet killer torpedo against the energy being, which is probably our best shot.
Yeah, what we could do, let's use the the magnetic torpedo to blow a hole in the minefield. Then we can move into the minefield and be at the proper range to use the transphasic torpedo on the energy being.
Yeah, I say we target this field.
Which one again? Didn't see ping?
I'm pinging. Can you see me?
Nope, there it is. Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you wanna keep the galaxy at range, at the right range.
If possible. I mean, yeah.
I'll let you move diagonally. I was a stickler once for that, but I'm not going to bother with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So first we need to use the the magnetic torpedo against that minefield.
That is a control plus security difficulty 4 shots with web security.
And Buleka, it brings it down to diff 3 because she's inspired.
Yep. Which player action is being spent to activate Beleka? Because we're in combat now, so turn economy matters.
I'll use my action.
Okay.
So so it's a difficulty 4 task.
Right.
If I order it, that's considered. I can use my order of Kalis and make my assist to die an automatic 1.
If you order it, then it's not a real assist turn; it's your turn.
Well, no, yeah, because it wouldn't burn Relis's turn to be your turn activating, directing Belka. So Belka actually would still be free to be used for something else as well.
Yeah,
It's fine if you want to do that.
Yeah, direct is not a bad option here.
I think I would like to do that. Direct her to fire the torpedo. Shoot attack officer.
Direct.
We could
Torpedo.
really use some momentum off of these rolls, if at all possible.
Well, I might. If Jim, would I be able to rally?
As an action, you could, yeah.
Yeah, I might be able to help us get momentum in a second.
Because it'd be good if we could do this. The movement's going to be an action.
But the movement's going to be diff 0.
Right, but it's going to be an action. I'm trying to get a third action before we get smacked.
Well, Keldar can use his determination to get another action where he can direct someone without a difficulty increase.
I don't.
It's a swift task without a difficulty increase.
I've used my determination already. I don't have determination.
Oh, I thought you rolled and got it back.
No.
I've used it twice, and I didn't get it back the second time.
Well, that's an option for you, Oda.
Yeah, I think Oda can, in theory, do what we need done.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for Belka.
Okay.
Roll's pretty difficult before.
He's already got 2 because Keldar. And it's diff 3, right? Because of the rally.
Because of the inspiration from earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
Should I spend the threat for an extra die?
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay, I'll do that. Extra die with threat.
Well, I guess it will hurt, but not that bad.
Is ship engagement tactics applicable focus?
Yeah, essentially.
Five, 6, 7.
That is a hit. And the minefield detonates.
That's why I thought it was the Romulan. That's the Tripolity symbol we made a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I made that.
Mm-hmm.
So we will keep. Oda will direct the helmsman, Kavara, to move us into long range of the energy being. So there.
So to here, you say?
Yeah.
Whoop. You maneuver.
And then Oda will use, he'll spend his determination on the value of strike hard, strike 2 to do another action.
Okay.
Immediate action. And fire the, was it the transphasic torpedo?
Yeah, transphasic torpedo.
At the core of the energy being.
I'm not going to charge you for a torp fire because you already basically paid for that when you bought the torp. So this is daring plus security difficulty of 3 base. Weps plus security.
Daring security difficulty 3. Weps security.
As if you see the entire a massive cloud of plasma taking the form of some great Klingon demon.
I wonder if this thing is real or if it's some massive holo projection.
Well, it probably is real in the sense that it can hurt us, but probably
Right.
not a hollow projection.
Strategy and tactics for a focus.
Only because you said tactics that way.
Okay. Let me roll my inspiration.
Sure.
Oh,
I never mispronounce. There's no evidence of that. So.
Nope, never. I don't even know why I keep that. Okay. Daring, security, difficulty 3. So I'm going to fire my Dahar Master to double the crit range for my security, strategy, and tactics.
Say again, sorry?
Well,
Go ahead, Winchester.
don't you want to do it for your command because you're rolling an assist, not the main roll? Because you're
No, I assisted the helmsman to get us in position. Now I'm firing.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah. So I'm firing the Dahar Master, which will, I'm using strategy and tactics, will double the crit range.
Oh, okay. I follow.
Yeah. So, which now that my security is 5 gives me 50-50.
See, I told you.
Yeah, it's true, you did. Daring security diff 3, so I will give you 1 threat and 2 momentum for 4 dice. And bold.
I shouldn't say anything yet, unless you hit. A bunch of Klingons begin racing around and swapping out the torpedo by hand. Laborers pull together and shove the thing into place, lock it in, they start checking it, and then they call up to the bridge, torpedo ready.
I'll spend a momentum if I need to for that extra minor or whatever.
Extra minor. You can do it from your command chair.
Torpedo.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just that's just narrative fill.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna re-roll the whiff.
Come on, 20. Come on. Oh.
So let's see if any of that says 15. That's a 7, so that's actually a crit with the increased range. So that's 3. Total of 4 on a diff 3. And then the ship got 1, so total of 5. So 2 gained.
You fire torp as if you had vicious one and penetrating one on the torpedo.
Nope, wrong sheet. Standard photon torpedo damage, or are we looking at quantum torpedo damage?
Act as if quantum.
Okay. 4 bonus momentum. Thank you, Keldar. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'm going to use a momentum to re-roll, or I'll use one of the bonus momentums to re-roll the 3 whiffs.
Do we know how much resistance it has?
At this time, you would learn it. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, just take the first 3 there.
Yep.
I don't know what happened.
I gotta check how that works again.
So we also have penetrating one as well as vicious one. So
we're ignoring the first 5 armor, anyways.
First 5 armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 raw. Minus. You peeled off 5 armor. 5 resistance, sorry. So only... Is this correct? Yep. 5 resist kicks in. So 9 damage.
I'll spend 2 momentum to knock down 4 of the resistance further.
Okay, so 14 total. it would seem that it is... There seems to be a protective energy field that pops into being when the torpedo strikes. It does manage to pierce it a bit because of the properties of the torpedo. It detonates, doing some damage to the energy field itself that's protecting the core energy being, as well as the energy being itself. It has taken, in effect, one breach.
Does high yield not give us another one?
High yield would give you another, so that's 2 breaches effectively.
We want to toss in the last 3 momentum for extra damage.
Devastating attack. If we could.
Yeah, true.
What would you like to spend on?
Hold on.
Sure. I'll calculate what I'm calculating here. Brain.
Yeah, we're devastating attack because we may not get another breach.
What's
we're gonna
devastating
bring
attacks effect? Because that's not
You
actually
deal-
in the Klingon book anymore.
You deal half damage to another system.
Okay, yeah, it's just called something different. It's called additional system. For 2 momentum spend.
Which
No, computer.
Yeah, they just renamed it. Do you think we'll get more bang for our buck for 2 for spend 1 for additional damage and then 2 for additional system?
additional damage only does 1 point of damage.
Well, but
So-
it may flip us up to a higher rounding when we get to half damage. 14 total raw, so which would bring it up to 15. So, I don't think it would really do anything for us when it comes to rounding.
Yeah, I would just do devastating attack because you're going to need momentum for piercing on that.
Actually, it would because it's rounding up for the secondary system. So instead of being 7, it would go to 8.
Yeah,
If we
well, yeah. It really all depends on how the GM's going to handle penetrating and
Right.
vicious.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right, so not this one, but this one. So it took at least 2 breach. Wait, yeah, 1 breach because you did at least 5. Another breach because of high yield. Okay.
So I
that's
think what we're going to do is we're going to spend 1 momentum for 1 point of extra damage, which will bring the total raw damage up to 15. And then we're going to spend the last 2 momentum for additional system, which is the Klingon name for a devastating attack. So it will hit a 3rd system for half the dice pool rounded up.
okay.
So,
So we'll resolve that. Well, I'm going to resolve that +1 you just did. That caused
Okay.
the energy field pops when you do that, causing a 3rd breach.
Oh, how convenient! That was the number to shields. Yeah, that would have been ironic if I would have convinced you not to do that and we would have let that go.
So you had 15, and additional system does half plus the effects, I believe.
Well-
half rounded up.
It doesn't. I don't think it specifically tells you how to handle penetrating one. I think
It does not.
No.
Roll to determine a random system. That system is hit and suffers half the challenge dice pool result of your attack, rounding up.
My personal ruling, just to move things along, is if it has the penetration follows into the secondary hit, because it's not like you re-roll, you take whatever hit the table.
Okay,
Right.
so -5 resistance on the devastating attack.
So breach.
If their shields are down, it would be 3 more.
Oh, you're right, yep. Breach. It's moving a lot slower, and it looks a lot dimmer, but it's still very much there.
Yeah, I think we need another 4 breaches. Or 5 breaches. But, I mean, I would have managed... You managed half its breaches, I think, in 1 attack.
Hmm. Well, if it's an actual entity, maybe it'll get scared and run away.
Actually, I'm doing this the hard way. I forgot that numbers of the thing. 2, 3, 4, 6. Haha. Way less cluttered.
Zoom in to see what that was.
Huh?
Oh, well, between the small laptop screen and being old, I had to zoom in to see what that thing you just did was.
I had 6 dots and I just reduced it to 1.
Right.
I believe that's your turn, friends.
Yeah, I don't think we can go
Yeah.
again.
I think we almost reached the maximum that would ever be possible.
May Kalis make us grateful for what we were about to receive.
It reaches
What,
back.
5 breaches?
Yeah.
And it holds its hands up as if it's reaching out to some distant star. Actually, I know. I'll spend that. It vanishes in a plume of energy, but streaming to some distant star. The saucer section goes. It did a thing.
What happened?
The energy being basically noped out of there and teleported to some distant star. Meanwhile, the saucer section continues to drift there.
It has shields up?
Yep.
Actually,
I know. Actually, much meaner thing to do.
He's upset because we scared off his monster.
It appears that the power plant aboard the saucer section is overloading. It's about to scuttle itself.
How long do we have?
At the end of the round, I'm going to roll a challenge die. If I hit an effect, it will detonate itself. For each additional round it has to do this, it gets an additional challenge die to try to blow itself up.
So, 1 challenge dice and you're trying to roll an effect, so that the first time this happens, we got like a 60% chance of it not happening.
Couldn't tell you the probability of it, but yeah, it's a fairly low chance.
Okay.
I'm not as concerned about the saucer section as I am the still cloaked
Star
Engineering.
drive.
turkey section.
And then you
Well,
hear the voice, a friendly voice, calling back to you from the ship.
Oh. Oh no.
The enemy's escaping. I'm going to destroy the saucer section to make sure no one else dares against the Empire. Quickly, before they escape. And he gives you coordinates about where they roughly are. Aurelius, you can give me insight plus security opposed roll. Because you have exceptional hearing.
Okay. Dearie me. You'll take shit. Max threat.
Sure.
Yeah, you'll take that.
I'll take whatever I want to take. Thank you. No.
Take it.
Okay. Being bullied.
There you go. That's a roll. God damn. Where were you earlier?
What's your crit range on this?
No focus on this one.
Oh no! I was doing so well! Budge Muffins, get your 2 momentum.
Tables have turned.
Not only is that not the voice of Eston that you hear, it sounds recorded, like it's an artificial construct of his voice. You also can tell that they're lying to you. Like there's just a tone that Frankie know that's like, yeah, that sounds like the sort of thing when you're selling ice to a guy who lives in the snow. Like it's
My God, I've turned into Deanna Troy.
but with money, so you're more useful.
But with money, yeah. I'm just gonna look over to the rest of the bridge crew, and it's like, you guys saw through this, right? That's not him.
So we think they're gonna try to sacrifice the saucer to throw us off, that he's on the star drive?
Precisely. Search for the star drive, not the saucer section.
We also need to be aware that saucer section goes, those minefields, any minefields around it are going to go, so we're going to need to be careful not to be in that same area. Okay, yeah, let's probe with the Revealy torpedoes. Wait, did that come from the saucer section?
Yep.
That comms? Okay. So let's probe for the location of the engineering section, but can we use the squadron to broaden the number of zones we can check out at a time? Since I have that as an asset.
For you have the squadron asset?
Yeah, the whole squadron's Oda's asset.
Yep. You could expand that. You could tag 2 zones instead of just 1.
Okay.
For each
What do you
additional
guys
ship
think?
asset, you could have that ship widen the search area by an additional zone.
Are we just going to let them blow up the saucer section?
Frankly,
Well,
yeah. Eston's not on
I
there.
don't know that we have the resources, because the saucer section shields are still up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we'd have to have enough time to do enough damage to take the shields down, and then we'd have to beam people over, and by that time, the likelihood of them dying to shut that down would just be too great.
Yeah, and
If the shields were down, I think there would be it would be a harder argument.
Yeah, and if they're actually still got crew over there who want to kill themselves rather than face Klingons, fine. And otherwise, it's they're just trying to blow us out of the water without actually meeting us in honorable battle.
Spending 2
So,
threat.
Between the Maymok, the squadron, and then Keldar's manga, we could hit 3 sections at a time, if I'm understanding you right.
Yep.
Wait, is Eston actually on the saucer?
You hear your computer takes a second, and it's Ensign Metzi that points out, I think we're getting a Morse code signal? SOS? As Essen's stuck in a tube, tapping away at something, going, for the love of God, somebody see this.
Please, it's getting really hard to breathe in here.
So, yeah, we need to move over, like, here? Move over here somewhere?
Well, not if we're gonna beam someone on or off of the saucer.
No, because Eston's signal is coming from here, so we need to move closer.
Oh,
It is coming
no, that's
from
what
here.
he's saying. Eston is on the yeah.
Oh, Eston's coming from the saucer.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Move here.
What is transport range? Is
no, We're at
Close.
optimal range to fire. We have to take the shields down first.
Okay. So yeah, let's put 2 extra power into the disruptor. Well, honestly, if we move here, we're in optimal range for cannons, which will take the shields down faster.
Alright. If we're going through this, do we want to try to save the saucer, or do we just want to get Eston off?
I don't see the point in saving the saucer. It's not our objective.
Yeah, I don't care about the saucer. I've already had
Well,
glorious
it's
combat with
intel.
it.
It's information.
I've already had glorious combat, against some energy being who looks like a Klingon god, which should have known better because we killed the god so long ago. I mean, there's already an opera being written here. So yeah, let's move to here and put 2 points of power into the disruptor cannons. And if there is a way, since my goal is to bring the shields down, is there a way to just pump everything into the shields without trying to break through the and do damage to the saucer itself? Just to overload the shield generators?
You would be aiming for structure is what you'd be doing. But the problem is the problem with aiming at structure. Oh no, better way. You'd aim at computers. Because even if you get a breach on computers, it won't blow out any of the EPS systems, but it'll make the shields less effective and they might go. Is the mechanical way to say it. Because if you fire at structure, that's technically hitting the shields, but the problem is if you hit the shield generator systems directly, it causes EPS overloads and can injure people.
Okay, so are we still in combat rounds?
Yes.
Okay.
The turn is yours. I used up my turn. The turns of 2 different factions.
Okay. So Oda directed the helmswoman, so she still has a turn to move us in.
You have 3 player turns to work with.
Okay.
And Eston, I'll note that you are aware of what's going on in the saucer section, but you have very limited access to the computer.
Yeah, I have like I'm laying flat down in the Jeffries tube, and my right hand can barely scrape against a computer panel.
Yeah, let's have Kavara move us into cannon range, and then we can keep, and Bakela can try and take down their shields, or one of you guys can take over the tactical. I think actually.
Yeah, I might try to do that just
Okay.
as determination.
Whose turn's being used for the pilot to move in? Because that is an action.
I'll use my turn to basically scream, "Pilot, go!"
Yeah. I'm going.
What's the range on the... Oh, yeah, well, the disruptor cannon's close range, too, so yeah, we're just going to get right up in there.
So you impulse over, that uses up 1 power.
All right. Oh, I guess I can do it on the token. Oh, you got it.
There, that way you're both sharing the zone.
And then I'm going to say we dump 2 extra power into the cannon.
Yeah.
Oh, you can always put in extra power. Oh, forget me. Never mind. I was going to say something.
So, did we decide who was shooting? It was going to be Chiyo, so she could use her determination.
Yep, I think so. So, are we still on the quick to action round, or
This is still the first round, yes.
so we don't need to spend a keep? Okay.
Control plus security, difficulty 3 if you're aiming for the computer system to minimize damage. Assisted by weapon security.
Since we haven't even tried negotiations, would you accept a value of know when to use a sharp blade and when to use a sharp tongue, since this is not the time for words, this is the time for action?
Yep, I'll take it.
All right. I'm just gonna use that to get 2 successes, and I'll give you 2 threat.
I think you get one more dice that you can roll since you. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay, Eston. We forgive you.
I would challenge you to a duel for insulting my honor, but I'm afraid you'd get stolen.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. 13 raw.
Or bonus.
I'm gonna use. Well,
You get to know what the resistance result is before you
is
spend.
the resistance not 5 because they're reduced by 1 scale because they split up, or do they have like special armor? If they split and they don't have bonus armor, it goes down to 5.
You're right. Yep. So it's actually 8 damage. Not enough to
Wow,
drop
what
the
else?
shields.
What a specific thing to know about that specific ship.
No, it's saucer separation in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the rules for it. The scale of both constituent parts goes down by 1.
Me and Winchester have been on ships with saucers before.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Want to spend a bonus to reroll the whiffs?
I'm gonna. First, I want to spend 2 bonus to reduce the resistance to 1.
So an additional 5.
That should say bonus.
Well, an additional 4. I'm not getting rid of the last resistance.
That causes an additional breach that hits somewhere randomly.
So the shields did go down?
The shields did go down, yep. The engines took a hit. Which is fine, because it was already... Actually, that makes its overload worse, but oh well. Just get him off the ship, he'll be fine. Shields are down.
I swear to God, if I die.
I think now we need to spend to oh, we can't keep again, can we?
What is the...
Chio could swift, but...
What is the task gonna be like to override the transporter controls on this tactical console?
It ups diff by 1, so let me calculate. So it'd be, as it stands...
I actually get to declare my engineering score, which is gonna be... Wait, so I have 2 skills left undeclared. Are they both 1s, or is one of them a 2?
One of them is a 2.
Okay, I'm gonna declare an engineering of 2.
Control engineering base 2. I presume you're beaming him to a pad.
Yes.
+1 because he's not on a pad. +1 because you're doing it not from... you're overriding from distant area. I could make it harder, but I won't. I'll just make it more complicated because he's in a Jeffries tube. And it's this plus this. Brain, are you right? Did you get it right the first time? Uses up 1 power to even try to beam... Whoops. Yep. Sensors plus engineering.
Oh, and I think we still have 3 momentum from the phaser attack roll. Because it was difficulty 3. I rolled 3, used determination, and the ship got 1. So that's 6 successes on a difficulty 3.
Those would have to be spent toward what the phaser did, though.
We used the bonus momentum from the ship.
Yeah, I already calculated that in, and I went ahead and spent 2 for the swift task.
Oh, you spent 2 for... Okay.
Oh, God.
How does the difficulty go up if I want to grab some of his friends?
His friends? Oh, like other people on the ship?
Just like anyone nearby him.
Diff and complication go up by 1.
Oh wait, don't I get dinged for taking prisoners?
You would, but I will note sometimes you take a bit of a loss of glory for the good of the Empire.
I'm not getting much glory this episode, so
Well, you
I'm
take
gonna not
prisoners,
do
you
that.
interrogate them, and then you kill them, and then you haven't taken prisoners.
Besides, I don't have the stats for that. I'm gonna give you 6 threat.
Okay.
I'm rolling a 10 total here, so.
Oh my god.
Well, unfortunately, Doctor, I'm all you've got. If you
Yeah.
don't want to get caught up in a warp core breach.
I mean,
A reactor breach, the warp core's in the star drive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're both matter-antimatter reactions. I don't think it matters.
Huh, get it? Matters.
Nah.
There won't be any matters left, or antimatters.
come on, guys. I really like Eston. Don't do this to me.
It's all on the ship now.
Oh no, please.
If you die, it's because the Maymok doesn't like you.
No. Wait.
Sensors engineering, huh?
Yep.
Let Aurelius roll.
It's
What?
kind of too late for that.
What did you let me roll? What?
Aurelius.
Roll
You're
for the
looking
ship,
through
though.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, my swift task is the last round before he is the last thing that happens before he rolls to see if the ship blows up.
No, Eston would have a turn. There's one
Oh,
player at
yeah.
the table.
Oh, well.
Though I
Oh
appreciate.
yeah, we could have just let you beamed yourself off from the engineering.
That was amusing. But 4 is enough. Eston is beamed aboard the Maymok. I assume you dropped shields to do that, obviously. You had the miner shut off shields.
Yeah. I didn't use a miner for anything. Oh, I used a miner to override, I think, so you get a...
I get a
give you
threat.
momentum.
I'll give you the last momentum.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
I'll
ahead.
give you less momentum.
Yep. It also just has a fusion drive. It's not a matter-antimatter reaction. Still, you wouldn't want to be on board the ship when the reactor blows, because it basically ignites all the plasma in the ship, so... Woo, I'm not obliterated. I'm just in a burning heap that burns in space. Wee.
When I transport back in, can I go to like a computer panel in the transporter room and open a channel to the bridge of the saucer section?
When your turn comes around, you could, yeah.
Okay.
On my turn...
Wait, when did we get attacked and lose our shields?
You turned off your
Our
shields
shields
to beam somebody.
Oh, what does
Could
the
we
13
use-
out of 15 mean?
Could we use one of the 4 bonus momentum from that transport to raise the shields again?
The
You
person,
can't raise and lower on the same action.
Yeah.
Oh,
the person who brought them down can't bring them back up. It has to be somebody else.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Oh yeah, they could do us real dirty right now.
Oh my God.
All they need is some high yield torpedoes, and they
If
could get us
I
big
just
reaches.
killed the ship, I'm really, really sorry, guys.
No, that's cool.
We'll only hold it over you for like 6 or 7 episodes.
I should check my guide to see how much I should be spending for this hazard. Yep.
Also, it's not a battle worth telling stories about unless we get, take at least one on the chin.
Yeah, but
Rip.
it doesn't matter if we all die.
well,
Oh
the
no,
ship
that
does-
makes the story so much better.
the ship does have 8 resistance.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Yeah, but
I mean,
Corbinian
not
is
that
threat.
that would help very much, but it's better than 5. Unknown contact has warped out of the system.
Last known location was there.
Shields up. See if you can get a trace on that.
well, we don't have any
Contact.
actions left. Oh yeah, Eston does.
Eston,
Eston has.
you're in the transporter room.
yeah, I'm gonna if I can go ahead.
Where's the shield?
Yeah, can I? I'm gonna override a computer panel to raise shields.
You spend a minor and raise the shields. As you notice, there's a bit. You check the ship's systems and like, oh, that's not good. Raise the shields.
I will. I guess I'll just open a channel to the bridge. Bridge, this is Eston. I'm here. Thank you.
This is the bridge. Received. Get your ass over here, Doctor.
Okay. And Eston's gonna go to bridge.
Okay, you spend your action heading to the bridge. You'll arrive there at the top of the next round. Time to check if that thing blows. 2 dice. Away we go. And it detonates. Good thing you brought the shields up.
Is it 2 dice?
Huh?
2 dice or just 1?
2, because you hit the engines with when the shields overloaded. Thankfully, you don't take as much damage because you're just in the same zone as it was when it blew up. So I think it's just gonna break something at worst. Yeah, this book, isn't it? Yes, it is.
The base book has it in it. I think it's something like scale plus 2 or something. Scale plus something.
Is someone having a bing noise or
A what?
I'm hearing a weird alert. I don't know.
You just
It
got a
doesn't.
subscriber on Twitch.
Is it?
I'm not hearing anything. Is it me?
It was. I might have had my mic button on, but I don't think it was me.
Now, guys, Corby got a subscriber on Twitch.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, like that'll happen.
I've gotten subscribers before. Shush.
Oh,
That was so
harsh.
mean.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
And it's a different noise. They had me double check. I was like, did they change my noise without telling me? Because I'd be very annoyed. Okay, it wasn't. Okay. I was like, maybe it was. I don't know.
Old Arillis.
I woke up today and I thought, fuck it.
That's coming. There it is.
Yeah,
You're just looking for damage? Yeah,
I got it.
okay.
we definitely upheld the Klingon attitude towards gods.
Yeah. Too bad we didn't kill it.
Well,
3
we caused us to be afraid of
3
Klingons.
piercing 2. At a number equal to the scale. So 5 plus 3, so 8.
-1 scale because it's just a saucer.
Full ship is 6.
Oh. I thought Galaxy was
Yep.
5.
They are
And
6.
The Galaxy is 6.
That is 7 with piercing 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 piercing.
So all of our resistance.
All of our resistance is gone.
You take a breach. Your shields are still up. I'm in a mood where I would love to spend threat to zero you out, but I don't have it. I spent it all for the other thing I was doing, so oh well.
It would be so poetic if we had gotten a structure and it had killed Eston.
You have a breach to your engines. As the saucer section detonates.
And we lose 2 power.
Oh, that's true, yeah. New round. Enemy was the last. Actually, no. You get to act.
Are we still in combat?
Actually, you no longer are in combat.
All right.
New scene, cutting to the bridge. As Eston races into the room.
On my way, would I have felt the ship take a really big hit?
Yep. You actually
would
see
I-
damage control teams heading the other way as something blew up.
Okay. I'm gonna get on my communicator. What's my second surgeon's name?
Mm-hmm.
The corn
Sod Crawl.
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 I wish it was corn. It's Crawl. I'm gonna send a message to Crawl to get emergency medical teams down to engineering and to accompanying damage control teams as well.
Acknowledged, Doctor.
Much appreciated, Doctor.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy. And that's all. I think that's all I really wanted to do.
If we're out of combat, do we take the restore task for the engines as red?
Yep.
See if we can't get a lock on the warp wake of that contact. Our enemy is only half destroyed, and that by their own hand. No, we're going to get you a new doctor. His name is Clam.
Okay.
The sign of his house is two snakes looking at each other.
Could I go over to the sensor ops station and assist with reason science?
Sure. Start looking over the shoulder of the ensign there. Ensign
Here we go. Here we go.
Ensign, I can certainly assist you with this.
There's your Starfleet friend. Where's Nazi? It's 3 reason science. She'll give you a threat for a third die. And it's good that she did. It's 1 momentum. And plus the ship. Sensor science. Already. No, that's engineering. Not that it matters. Two momentum gained, and plus we got 4 bonus.
And does Eston want to assist?
He already rolled.
I already rolled.
Oh, he did? Oh, I see. He just didn't pop up the thing. I was looking for.
I will turn around and say, Captain, we found their warp wake.
Good work. So we've got 4 bonus momentum if we want to ask any questions, plus 2 more. I think we're about at the end of things. Anybody want to try to get some more information out of that particular roll with a bonus?
Do we already know their heading, GM?
You have a rough idea, yeah.
Would a momentum spend for a question get a specific heading?
Or 2 for an advantage to know the heading?
Yeah.
It's an obtain information. I won't overcharge you for that.
Okay.
3
bonus left.
I need to check the larger map. An idea exactly where they're headed. If you guys were running away from the Klingons, you ran. Coreward and trailing, so northeast.
Okay.
Nearest star system appears to be an inhabited system that has some sort of subspace transceiver station or listening station. So implies a warp-capable civilization.
Is it like I won't presume to ask another question. Does anybody have anything else they want to know?
Hold on, I'm jotting down some notes.
Target system for the purpose of the log on star system 1611.
Did
And you said it had a subspace relay.
Yes.
Is that anywhere near where God went?
That will cost to answer that question.
All right. How much?
Just one.
Okie dokie.
It moved to another part in the in this massive storm system. It did head toward that star system, but it's still effectively another star system away. Like, it moved one space, the target they're moving towards seems to be two. 2 steps away.
But it's headed in the general direction that the ship was heading?
It would seem so.
So I'm sorry, which one moved 1 and which one moved 2? God moved 1 and the ship is moving 2, or vice versa?
They are moving at least 2. You don't know anything about the star systems beyond that. This is like extreme range. You're hearing bits and pieces from a subspace radio.
Captain, I recommend gathering reinforcements and advancing. I get the feeling that these, whatever, Federation types or whatever, they have advanced capabilities.
An entire squadron.
Yeah, we have all the forces we have access to here.
Oh,
Except for one ship.
well, I didn't know that, did I?
The only other reinforcements you possibly have, just to fill you in, would be the Starfleet Narendra fleet that's in the area.
Well, I think Oda was talking about the Quill-U, but that's on doing something else.
Yeah, and we can we'll inform Narendra / Achilles what we're up to with the log. Okay, so we still got 2 bonus left. Can we maybe spend that for another advantage where some property of their warp wake, something in their warp coils is off just enough to give us an advantage in finding and tracking them?
Sure.
Okay. Then hopefully that'll carry over till next time. So that takes care of the bonus. Easier to find unknown galaxy class. It was a glorious day. We have confounded our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And taught the gods or energy being or whatever that was the folly of striking at Klingons.
I'm sorry, sir. Energy being?
I'll tell you over dinner.
Ooh, dinner.
Oh, can I come? Says Matsy.
Yes.
Ensign. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Let's see. Oda will call down to, I'm blanking on his name. It's under other. Koroth. Slaughter the fattened targ. Tonight the senior staff feasts on its heart.
Raw! You hear cheering from other parts of the deck.
Yeah.
Actually, some of the NPC crew cheer because, hey, yay meat.
Yeah, they're all on the bridge, so everyone on the bridge will share in the big targ heart.
Well, that's nice.
That's glorious, you mean? Nothing in the Klingon Empire is nice. La.
Is that Madsy talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's insidious.
I have to tell you, it took me a little bit to get used to heart, but after years being in the KDF, it's grown on me significantly.
You should try
Taking
liver.
a course after our enemies. Warp factor 8.
Yes, Toth. Yes, Toth, rather. Wrong voice. But away you go to continue your hunt, deeper and deeper into that unknown Shackleton expanse.
GM, One thing before we end, can I do some house politics? When you asked me at the beginning, would you like to do something before, I said no, but I would actually like to do something.
Sure.
Not related to this turn or anything, but yes. I know Chio is sending thugs to rob my fellow Ferengi of the armor of SupQit'aH.
You mean
I'd like to-
repatriate stolen art?
I'd like to waylay the thugs so they don't arrive ever, perhaps, and I'd like to buy it using legal means.
You understand that thugs is a regiment of Klingon warriors.
Yes, I'd like to waylay the
Like
Klingon warriors.
a regiment on a warship.
Yes, I'd like to waylay the Klingon warriors on a regiment.
Okay. You're going to curtail them in some fashion. This is going to be a opposed roll between players, no momentum being generated.
Understood.
Control plus command or security. Opposed between Chio, because she's the one who sent them, and Aurelius. Aurelius, if you succeed, are you trying to hide that you're the one who did this?
Of course.
Okay, if you succeed, then Chio is none the wiser. If she succeeds, she will find out.
But if I... okay.
Yep.
Will they be waylaid, though, if she finds out?
If she succeeds on the roll, then she finds out about your plot, and she's able to counter it.
Mm-hmm, okay.
But if you make it, she never finds out, and neither do the regiment. So it'll be misdirected, waylaid by pirates. You know, there's a number of ways you could probably pull this off, depending on your focuses.
I'll burn a value. Rule of acquisition 125. You can't make a deal if you're dead.
I'm not threatening to kill you.
I will be dead, though, if this goes out.
Also, I'm actually willing to extend that to if your target's dead, you can't make a deal with him.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'll take that.
I'll challenge a directive, make allies when possible, since this is now confirmed what I believed earlier, that Aurelius is sabotaging any chance we have it working together.
Also, you're helping murder a random merchant who has your armor. So I take it either way.
I'm a patriotic Ferengi. Okay? I take care of my people. You're threatening to kill my people. That's not how we play the game.
Well, I mean...
There are ways to obtain the armor of SupQit'aH without shedding blood. It seems Klingons are too thick to understand this, so we'll show them.
The roll will fall as it may, since these are two characters who do not know they're doing this to each other.
Can we use momentum on this, or is that a no?
You can use momentum, and you can even give me a threat, and I might add to the problem. You just can't gain momentum off the back of the roll. It's the last roll of the night anyway, but still.
I'll take this. I'll take these two momentum. I'll beat you to the task.
I'll give you 5 momentum.
5 threat,
Can I
you mean?
use my Klingon gunboat politics on this?
Yep. Just for the sake of clarity for those who are seeing this, these two are effectively doing some politics in the background.
It's 7 successes for me.
I got 2, 3, 5, 5 and a comp, I guess, because value only gives me +2.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I've been fucked. What can you do?
The results of exactly what Chio's retaliation may or may not be will be...
We'll just have to set up a scene for Chio to go to Oda, because I'm gonna go to Oda first on this.
We will see how that turns out next time. But for now, all of you who are watching and watching this live and watching this later, thank you very much for watching. And of course, be sure to I give my thanks for the music that you heard today to Kevin MacLeod at inkapitech.com, as well as winglessseraph.net. Both great places to get music for your role-playing games. Please check them out if you like the music you are hearing in the background. And of course, some of the sound effects you heard were properties of CPS used within very limited reasons. But yeah, otherwise, I will see you all next time, and maybe, just maybe, I won't kill any of these players or arrest any of them. You all have a good one.
We're gonna do that ourselves.
Yay!